Hello, hello, hello to all my Facebook people. Those of you may be watching on YouTube. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. But I still give people a couple of minutes to get in. Play a little music while I wait. And I do not own the rights to that music. Be right back. Brother Bob, how you doing, sir? Ashley? Serenade y'all with a little music. I was running a couple of minutes behind, as usual, so I do apologize. Give a couple more minutes, see if we get a couple more people in here. And if not, we'll just go ahead and start this party. All right, shoot, y'all. I get one more minute, Brother Bob, and then we'll go ahead and start this party. And whoever's gonna join in is gonna join in, and if not, they'll catch it later, I guess. Some high quality H2O. Alrighty, well, I will go ahead and get started. And like I said, I know there's a couple of others said they were going to be here, and they will tune in a little later, or they can just watch it later on online after I post it. And I do apologize to anybody that's been waiting on me, because I was a little late today. I just got some news today. I'm actually coming to you guys with a heavy heart today. I got some news today, and it's one of those things when you get it, it just kind of throws your day off. And I got some news today that a close friend of mine, he was actually my college roommate, my sophomore year of college, passed away yesterday. Very young guy, good dude, man, had a family, and he passed away yesterday just out of the blue. He was only 1 year older than I was. So, people, I had to tell you, man, just love your people when you got them here, and just take every day serious. There's so many people with the work that I do for the Lord. There's so many people I go out there and I talk to, and I try to talk to them and encourage them in having a relationship with the Lord. And some know they don't have a relationship with the Lord, and they still want to wait, and I get to it later, kind of have an attitude, and you don't know. You really don't know. Death is a part of life. We all know that. And, it's one thing when it's kind of expected. Somebody's like, way older, or they've been sick a lot, or cancer or something like that. This is one thing, that's hard enough, still to see that. And that's hard. But when it's just completely out of the blue, no signs of illness or sickness or anything, just one day they're here and the next they're gone, it's hard. And I got a call today that really just broke my heart. Again, this is my roommate, my college roommate for my sophomore year. And, good dude all the way around. We've always been close over the years, even since college. We was always close, and he was just like a brother to me, really. And he passed away today, yesterday, I believe it was yesterday. But I got the news today, and it just threw me off, and I couldn't even really focus like I wanted to at work. And, man, I just got kind of behind, and it messed up my time of the day. So I do apologize to y'all for that. But it's just, like I said, just a heavy heart. And it just so happened, I didn't do this because, and I'll go ahead and say I didn't do this, I'm not doing this sermon because of what happened to him. It just happened to work out that way, that I was doing this sermon on blood ain't always thicker than water anyway. If any of y'all saw my Facebook post, you saw that I dedicated it to him because actually the situation that me and him have is exactly kind of what I'm talking about today as far as the blood not being thicker than water. So definitely praying for his family. I might have to go down to Atlanta. He's from Georgia, so I'm definitely gonna try to make the funeral. And once they post the arrangements and all that stuff, just like I said, just good dude. And like I said, I'm a little out of focus, y'all. I apologize, but it's just, man, this is hard when you got somebody that close to you. Like I said, he just turned. I just turned 41 in August, and he turned 42 in July. So he's on like a year and a month older than me, and just passed away from a heart attack just out of the blue. No, like I said, no signs of illness, no sickness. Healthy guy. Actually, I messed with him a little bit because he was still posting pictures of himself on Facebook with no shirt on. I'm like, put your shirt on, old man, kind of thing. And I mean, just like that, he's gone. So definitely wanted to dedicate this sermon to him. And like I said, it worked out like, you guys know I've been going back through Genesis. I went through the beginning of Genesis. There was a lot of little stories in here that I missed. I went through all the major stories that everybody is familiar with. So I wanted to go back through some of what would be considered the minor stories and bring these out, the lessons that's in them as well. So like I said, it just happened. I just happened to be doing this sermon today that's really kind of stressing the importance of friendship outside of family. And I was talking about the exact situation that me and him had. And like I said, I had already posted that I was doing the sermon when I got the information, or I got the call that he had passed away. And that's why I reposted my post, and I edited it, and I dedicated it to him. So to the Brantley family, Donell Brantley family, if any of you watching this, or you may watch this later on, I just want to let you know you have my deepest condolences. He would definitely be sorely missed, a really good guy. And I just pray for y'all because I know this is going to hurt for quite some time. So, but again, I apologize for being late. I just had when I got that news, man, it just, like I said, it threw me for a loop. I've been knowing this guy since I was, I'm 41 now, and I met him when I was 19. So I've been knowing him over 20 years, and always a good guy, always a stand-up guy. I love him. He was very honest, bluntly honest, to be quite honest. So for him to go that way, it broke my heart. So I've had a rough day today, getting anything done or getting anything focused. But at the same time, I know I got to get this word to you guys. So that's why I'm here today. I thank you all for joining me. Everybody that's here, thank you for joining me. I know you could be anywhere else in the world right now, but you're here with me, and I really appreciate that. Like I said, I'm dedicating this to my brother, Donell Brantley. Great guy. And I just know, and the good thing about it is, and I'm saying this, then I'm getting to the lesson. Earlier this year, we had a situation where a mutual friend of ours, I had reached out to a mutual friend of ours, and they was she helped me reach out to him, and we was talking because we had been a while since we talked, and I was leading her to the Lord, and I was just telling her what we was talking about, and I asked him about his salvation, and he was saved. So that is a blessing to know that he is saved. So I know where he's at right now. I know he's in Abraham's bosom, in the arms of the Lord right now. So that is a blessing. That helps. That always helps. That helps you be able to deal with it a little bit better. But still, it just hurts, man. Like I said, just a great guy all the way around. Love him to death. And I was going to actually bring it up later, but it just hit me. I just had to let you guys know where my mind was at. So anyway, I apologize. But I thank y'all, of course, and Brother John on behalf, got it here running my mouth, on behalf of Revelation Baptist Church and Lost Sheep Ministry. And I'm here with you guys today to bring a lesson out of the book of Genesis. And it's one that is important, especially what we got coming up today. We got the election in November. And it's funny when the election year comes around, you always see, people get into it. But you see a lot of family get into it as well. People from the same family got different views and things of that nature. So, and we have this saying, there's this saying, and of course this saying comes from the title. If you saw my Facebook post, you see the title is called Blood Ain't Always Thicker Than Water. And the premise of what I'm talking about today is that, that is used as a term in endurance, talking about family and the bond that you have as a family and things of that nature, and how, family always supposed to have your back. And what I'm going to look at today to show you that ain't always true. That's not always true. Family is not always the ones that got your back. So I was doing some research. I always like to do a little bit of research or just Google when I say research. But I did some research on the quote to see exactly where it stemmed from. Because I know in my hood, and I don't know about you guys, I know just about everybody probably heard that quote, blood is thicker than water. But I wanted to see like exactly where it come from. And we use that as a term to say, again, the family ties, talking about how, the family bond is so strong that it should come before anything. And that's how we use it. 95% of us, probably 99% of us that use it, that's how we use it, think of it in that term. But actually, when I did the research, I found out that's not actually what it means. It actually goes along a lot more with what I'm talking about tonight. That family is not always the bond. Family bond is not always the best thing for you. I found this article. It says this quote is a quote that comes from the blood of the covenant. It comes from this: the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. This actually means that blood shed in battle bonds soldiers more strongly than simple genetics. So although we commonly use it to suggest the strength of family ties, it doesn't refer to family at all. And see, I didn't know that, because I know y'all might be smarter than me, but I didn't know that. Every time I've heard that blood thicker than water, it's always been something they talk about family. Family comes first, and I use that. I heard that a lot growing up in my life, and like I said, I heard a lot in the hood. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely heard a lot in the hood. And to me, it was always a term that family used when they were screwing you over, so to speak. And I wanted to let y'all know before I get into this tonight, this is not going to be, this is not going to be a family bashing session. Me and my family didn't have the greatest relationship when I look back on it, but I'm not here to bash my family tonight. But y'all know me, I always speak the truth. I always teach y'all from my life experiences. So yeah, I'm be looking like I'm bashing my family, but I mean, it just is what it is. I got to talk about how I grew up and the family, what I experienced, my family life as a child. So like I said, tonight when I look at that blood is thicker than water, like I said, the real meaning is saying that, hey, there are people in this world that'll be have a stronger bond with you and have your back more than your own family. And it's because of the situation that you've been through. And that's the real actual meaning. But I'm gonna look at it from the aspect of what, like I said, about 99% of us use it, and they're saying that whole family ties is the best. Nothing breaks that bond like a family bond. So, but that's not the case, and we're gonna see that. So going through the Bible, we're gonna be in tonight. We're gonna be in the book of Genesis. Now it's gonna be like 2 chapters. Basically, it's gonna be half of chapter 25, the whole chapter 27, and then part of chapter 28. And I know that sounds a lot come from me because I'm long-winded, but it won't be long. Most of it is just story, just reading story. But there are about 18 things that I want to pull out between those three chapters that I want to use to show you that blood ain't always thicker than water. It's not. I'm going to show you from the Bible that a majority of the time, and again, this is not a family bashing session. It's just, this is the way the story came up. This is the way it came in. So I'm not bashing family, and I don't want you all to go out and start bashing family, but it is a truth that you have to understand. A majority of the time, family is the ones that will screw you over the most. And we're going to see that from what we're going to go through tonight. But majority of the time, the people that are closest to you are the ones that have the ability to hurt you the most. And a lot of time that's family. Family will always seem to let you down before strangers will. And I always found that weird. That is so applicable to my life. I have so many people in my life that I come across that has done more for me than my family ever has. So, and that's what I want to look at tonight. Again, not to bash my family or not to bash family in general, but we do need to be aware of that. An important part of the Christian life is having discernment about who you're going to spend your time with, who do you put your time and effort into. And, a lot of us would tend to do that with family when rightfully they don't really deserve our time and effort. They'll be the main ones that's holding us back. And again, I'm not trying to bash family, but I just want you to see that because, as a pastor, as a minister, I got to give you all the truths. I can't just give you the truths that sound good to you or the truth that's easy to talk about. I got to give you all the truths. And there is a truth that a lot of times family are some of the ones that will screw you over the most. Anybody that's had family, you've had family spouts, you've had run-ins with your family, you've had family issues, and family is the one that will hurt you the most because they're the closest to you. They're the ones that you expect to have your back when in reality they don't. Again, this is not a family dissing. This is not going to be a family dissing. Not saying, hey, forget family and just find good friends. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm just saying I just want you to be aware that just because they're family don't mean they have your back. That's the overall theme of this. Just because you're related by blood don't mean that you're related by heart. That's the overall themes of this. So when I think about it, and the reason why, like I said, when I was reading through this and I thought about doing this lesson, I go back to myself and I go back to my life and what I grew up with and what was considered family with me, and I look at my life and the bad stuff that I went through as a child and all the things I've experienced in life, and most of the bad stuff that happened to me as a youngster or a younger kid or whatever you want to call it, most of it, the things that happened to me in my childhood was through my family. It wasn't, we got this image that, it's the weirdo down the street or the guy on the corner and this and that. A lot of times the hurt, the true hurt that comes to you through family. And it's a sad situation. And like I said, we're going to look at this situation tonight, and that's why when you get you some good friends, man, it's vital. I pledged the fraternity for one point, and they had this statement, this motto. I don't know what they call it, statement or motto, but it was like friendship is essential to the soul, and that's what I want y'all to see tonight. Friendship is essential. Just because people are blood don't make them family, and I have people in my world that's not blood, that's more family to me than my family has ever had. Because like I said, when I look at my life as a youngster, I think about all the bad stuff that I went through. Most of it happened to me. The people that did it or put me in the situation was family. Anybody that knows my testimony knows that as a younger kid, I was molested. I was molested by 2 different members of my family. 2 men. It was a man on each side, my mom's side and my dad's side. And then there was some women on my dad's side. So all of it was family. It wasn't the weirdo down the street, the weirdo neighbor, the coach at the school or nothing like that, like the movies always portrayed, out to be. And now that does happen, but a lot of times when these things happen, it's family. It's people that's really close to you, either family or like family, or you consider them family because they've been around your family so much. So you have to be careful of that. And then I'm thinking about my house. Like, our house was so bad, and it's something I don't have to deal with now, and it show you how God blessed my life, and that's why I preach and do the things I do. But my family used to be so bad, and anybody in my family watching this can attest to this. I'm not just bashing my family or just trying to make myself get some y'all sympathy. But my family used to be so bad that if you had money, if you lived in our house and you had some money, and everybody the people in the house knew you had money, you actually had to sleep with your money in your underwear and hope that they didn't get it while you was asleep. I mean, it was that bad. Like, if I had some money, you know what I'm saying, if I had a few dollars, and I didn't have a lot of money, but I mean, a kid, when I was a kid, $5, I was like rich. So every once in a while I have an aunt or somebody that give me some money or something like that. And if I had that money and they saw the aunt give me the money, that I knew that night I had to sleep with that money in my underwear. And I'm gonna tell you, man, it is uncomfortable having George Washington creep up your butt crack all night. It is very uncomfortable. It's hard to sleep. You don't have to go try it out. I've already done it. It's very uncomfortable to have George creeping around in your underwear while you're trying to get you some sleep. But that's what I used to have to do to keep my money from being stolen by my own family. It wasn't no robbers coming in off the street to rob me. It was my own family members. If they knew I had that money, they knew where I kept it at, they would steal it. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I slept with it in my underwear, and I still woke up some morning and it was gone. That's how bad it was. So again, family was doing that. It wasn't the thugs on the end of the corner. It wasn't the guy, the robbers breaking in to rob me. It was my own family that was doing those things. I think of this other situation. I once saw my uncle, and this is a guy, in the family that I admired, I looked up to, but I saw him beat my mother with a wooden cane, and he hit her so hard and so much that the cane itself splintered. I mean, it was just like it broke and busted apart, and wood went everywhere. This is his own sister. My uncle beat my mother with a cane until it splintered, until just pieces of wood everywhere. This is my own uncle. Again, family. You know what I'm saying? And now my mama, she had some problems, and she did a lot, and she went through a lot. But other guys outside our family did things that I saw as well. But to see your own family do that really hurts your heart. Like, how can you be doing this to your own sister, kind of thing. So again, I'm not bashing family, I'm not putting my family down, but these are things I saw. And when I look back at my childhood, I look at my family now, and what I have now, and what I've had for the last few years that the Lord has blessed me with. And now that I truly understand the concept of family, and then when I look back on my family and what I thought was family, I came to the realization one day that we wasn't really family. We wasn't really family. We were a bunch of people that were blood related that were living together. We wasn't family, because family's supposed to have your back. So family the blood does supposed to be thicker than water. They supposed to have your back. They supposed to be the one that's going to push you forward and not pull you back. But I so often found, especially in like poor neighborhoods, and this ain't just in the ghetto. I mean, everywhere, poor neighborhood and the poor class of people, a lot of time it's a dog eat dog world, and your own family will do things to put you down just to make sure they get ahead. The whole crab in a barrel mentality kind of thing. And it's a sad situation, but it happens. And it happens. So I want to make y'all aware of that. Like I said, I can't just do the story that's pleasant, that's easy to talk about. I got to go through all of it. When I go through here and something jumps out to me, the Spirit tells me to go that way, I will. And today I'm talking about family. And family, we got to understand, family don't always have your best interest at heart. Like I said, when I look back at what I consider to be family now, my childhood, the ones I grew up with, we were not family. We were a bunch of people that were blood related that was living in the same house. But we were not truly a family, because we did not support each other. We did not push each other forward. Oftentimes we would turn each other down. We were arguing. We were fighting. I can't tell you how many times I've seen my cousins get into a fight. My uncles get into a fight. I saw another one. I saw one of my cousins beat my other cousin with a cane. And if y'all wonder where all these canes coming from, my grandmother was blind. So she used to walk with a cane through the house. She had some wooden cane, and she didn't have the long white metal one with the red on it like most people, because she didn't really, whenever she went out in public, somebody went with her. But just walking around the house, she had wooden canes, and they would just grab her cane and, go at each other. And I saw that so many times, and, that's not something family do. Yeah, family fight, but that was extreme. You know, they was really trying to kill each other and take each other out of this world kind of thing. And that's not something family do. So that's why I wanted to do this lesson tonight, to show that family don't always got your back. They sometimes they might just be the ones that's holding you back. You know, and majority, like I said, a major part of the Christian life is surrounding yourself with the right people. It is making sure that you got the right people around you, and that includes family. A lot of times we give family a free pass because we're family. You know, oh, we're blood, that's my cousin. You know, I let them slide. If there was some other stranger, you wouldn't let them get away with that, but because it's family, you let them get away. And that's one of the things you got to understand about family. You got to understand that, you know, there's going to be some people out there that's more family than your actual blood family would ever be. You know, and I have several people like that in my life. Matter of fact, I think about, everybody know I got a brother that I adopted. I love him dearly. You know, I adopted him when I was in college and brought him up to Nashville with me, try to give him a better life. But there was a point where he kind of went down the wrong path. He got into some things that I wasn't down with. Started going the direction that I wasn't cool with, and I had to separate myself from him. From like 2-3 years, me and my brother didn't talk. Love him to death, but I was trying to move forward, and I had to separate myself from him so I can move forward. Cause I knew if I just kept letting him linger on, that he was gonna pull me down. He wasn't gonna lift me up, or I wasn't gonna lift him up, but he was gonna pull me down. So that's why I say a major part of being a Christian and the Christian life is surrounding yourself with the right people, and not only friends, that's family as well. You know what I'm saying? And even the right kind of Christian people. All Christian people ain't good for you, because some of them is judgmental. Some of them don't really have the Lord in their heart. They say they do. They try to act like they do, but they don't. So that's why I want to do this lesson tonight, to help you have the wisdom to see that family don't always have your best interests at heart. So make sure that you're praying to the Lord to show you to have the right people in your world. You know, I think about over in talking about family, I'm thinking about over in Proverbs. In Proverbs chapter 18, verse 24, it makes this statement. It says, a man that have friends must show himself friendly. He said, and there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. You know, and when I hear that statement, I love that statement. Matter of fact, my friend Jason on here, I was actually about to bring him up here in a second. He just happened to be on here tonight. What up, Jason? Glad you can be here, brother. But when I think about that statement there, that's an epitome of my life. Like, I am who I am. I am the way I am. I was able to be successful the way I am because I've had great people in my life that I met along the way. Whether it was men that were great father figures, or when I got into college, we had this group we would call the FIA, and then Jason was part of it, and my boy Charles, Kevin Keys, Keith Key, Chris Hardaway, Marlon Ridley. I mean, we just had this crew, and we called ourselves FIA, and it was Friends in Action. And we basically we kept each other in check. You know, if one of us was getting ridiculous, I'm going to tell y'all, I kept several times I had a boot put in my butt. You know what I'm saying? Because I started getting off on going on the wrong path, or thinking I was more than what I was or something. And we just kept each other in check. You know, that's family. To this day, I love all of them to death. You know what I'm saying? And we had such a bond that even though we've all went our separate ways, we all got our own real families now, you know, and raising our kids and stuff like that. You know, if we get together, it's like no time has passed by. That's the kind of relationship I love. Those are good relationships there. Those kind of friends that I have, that, like, even though we ain't seen each other in years, we get together, it's like no time has passed. We still the same. All of us was real. We wasn't fake people. We was always real. So that way we had that bond. So the same, just like Jason was back then, I know he's the same now, just maybe a little bit more mature, just like me. You know, that was real family to me. No, that was my family. And I had several, I've had more strangers and people that I met as I journeyed through this life that has been more of my family than my actual family. Now, the FIA, that was one example. That was one of the examples I had, because I will give some examples. Another example I have, it was this guy, his name is Mr. Allen. If you ever heard my testimony, I talk about him a little bit in there. But he was actually my scoutmaster when I was in the Boy Scouts. And he ended up becoming like my dad, you know. And to this day, I talk to him to this day. I've been out of Boy Scout for over 20 years, but I still call him, check up on him, send him Father's Day card. I call him my father. I send him pictures of the kids. You know, right. Me too, brother. Me too. But I sent him pictures of the kids, and I mean, he really became my family. You know, to the point where when I was in college, I remember I was in college, I had this busted Chevy Caprice, and it lasted for a little while, but man, it was just an old regular car, and I need a new car, but I need to get a cosigner. So I called Mr. Allen. I told him about my situation. I just wanted to get something just to get me by, like some little used car. And he was like, look, he said, I'll sign for you, but you ain't gonna get no used car because it's just gonna be the same thing over and over. He said, if I do it, he said, I'm gonna make sure you have something that's gonna last you and be reliable. And this man, again, a man I met through scouting, took me down and put all his credit on the line, and he co-signed for me to buy my first brand new car. He brought me a brand new Kia when the Kias first came out, and this man co-signed for me to get there. You know, that's family right there. Me have no blood. I ain't even know this guy until I was 16 years old, but yet he made that sacrifice for me. See, that's family. You know, I never, nobody in my family would have did that for me, but that man would have. You know, he did. There's another one. His name is Derek Owsley. He was actually my supervisor for my first job. I was a dishwasher at a steakhouse, and he was my supervisor. And again, we just clicked, man. We just, I don't know, I can't explain the bond we had, but it was like another situation, like a father-son bond. Because I was moving out of scouting, and I was getting more into just working and trying to, you know, establish myself. And that's when I met Derek. He's my supervisor. And it became, and again, it became like my dad. And to this day, I call him my dad. You know, I sent him things for his anniversary, his birthday. I call in on him and check on him. He calls in and checks on me. Matter of fact, whenever I go to Memphis, I actually used to stay at his house. That's how close we were. I go live at his house because it's just him and his wife. They didn't have kids, and so they kind of adopted me. You know, again, didn't know this man from Adam until I was 16 years old, but he came in like a father figure to me, and he actually was, him and Mr. Allen, two major reasons that I am who I am today. You know, then I think about my wife's brothers. One of them, his name is Daniel, the other was Andrew. I met them guys when I was working at Taco Bell when I was at TSU. You know, just, you know, really good guys. Then they end up hooking me up with their sister. They hooked us up, and me and their sister started dating, and they've been like brothers to me. They've been like brothers to me this whole time. Now, we had our little skips back in the day before we really became close, but, I mean, like brothers to me. I mean, like, it's like really, when I started dating their sister, they adopted me into their family. And honestly, being in this family with my wife's family, they showed me what family was really about. Yeah, they fought and they talked about each other and they bickered, but they always had each other's back. That's family. That's what family's supposed to do. Yeah, you're gonna have your little spills, but they gonna have your back. You know, another guy. Again, this is just going with Proverbs 18 when it says, "Our friend that sticketh closer than a brother." You know, that's true family when you got somebody that do that. Again, it was this guy named Danny. Call him Robert. I mean, his name was Robert Wilkinson, but we call him Danny. And we worked together at this place down in Nashville called Clover Bottom. Now, there was a point where my car broke down and I couldn't get to work. Now, I lived about 50 minutes away, almost anywhere between 50 minutes and an hour away. And this guy, Danny, actually lived about 10 minutes from work. So he would leave his house, come pick me up. We talked to the supervisor, got us on the same schedule. So that way, because the schedules kind of rotated. So we talked to the supervisor, convinced them to put us on the same schedule. And this man, even though he lived 10 minutes from work, he would drive almost an hour to come pick me up to make sure I got to work because we didn't have a bus that went out there. And to make sure I got to work. He did that every day for me for months, you know. And then afterward, he would have to take me back home and then drive. Like I said, he was right down the street. That's family. You see what I'm saying? That's why I want y'all to understand what family truly is. Family is somebody that's going to do what they can to help you go above and beyond. They're going to do what they can to help push you. Again, my FIA, I had that down, for example, my FIA brothers. They were family. You know, I know at any moment, my Jason is watching right now. He's up there in the Virginia, Washington area. I know if I go in that area, I got somewhere to stay. It's not even a question. You know, no matter where I go, these guys were like family to me. If I go down to Memphis, if I need to holler Big Keys, I have somewhere to stay. You know, that's family. They family all got your back, and time and distance does not separate that bond you have. That's true family right there. So that's what I want to look at tonight, people. I want to look at true family. True family is not just because, hey, we got the same blood, we're family. No, true family is somebody that's willing to put their neck out for you. Somebody's going to step out there on faith and do what they can to help you. And again, my brother I brought up earlier, Jason, I don't know if you was on here earlier, but I don't know if you remember Donell Brantley. He was the running back, Big Donell. You know, he was my roommate in my sophomore year, but he passed away yesterday. So, you know, again, he was like family to me. You know what I'm saying? Me and him, we always talked. You know, he got on me because I was a walk-on, and he was actually one of the main running back. You know, and I was a walk-on, and man, he was telling me, hey, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. And this guy was like this big, buff dude. I mean, he was huge, like a brick house, you know. And I used to mess with him like, man, one of these days, I'm going to look better than you. And I had started working out, you know, with the team and everything. And he was like, he's like, man, not if you eat that. And he would get on me about how I was eating, my working out regimen. You know, I was sleeping. I was always a night owl, and he was an early bird. So, you know, I come in the room at 8:30, 9 o'clock. He's already in the bed, you know. And he was like, man, if you're going to really, you know, do this, you got to get your rest. So, I mean, he was like a brother, close brother to me, even after we was roommates for only 1 year. But, I mean, we always stayed in touch. We always had each other's back, you know, and family. You know, and that's why I wanted to tribute this sermon to him, because, again, exactly what I'm talking about, true family. A lot of times you find your true family outside of the ones that you are genetically linked to. And I don't want y'all to think just because you genetically linked to somebody, that makes them family. No, that does not make them family. What makes them family is if they're willing to make the sacrifice and, you know what I'm saying, have to go without or do without just so they can make sure you have what you need to go forward. That's true family. You know, and again, I can go on and on. I really will be on here for 4 hours. I go through all the list of the people that has done great things for me and helped me get to where I'm at. And that's not, I don't want to take away from the lesson, but I just want to show y'all, give y'all some examples of what true family is. Hold on. One more. I got it before I forget. I had this coach that we called him Red Devil, but his name was Reggie Miller. You know, and he was my basketball coach. I played Little League basketball or whatever. He was my coach. And man, he was the one that helped build my confidence and showed me that if you work hard, you can accomplish anything. Because I was one of the worst, I ain't gonna lie, I was the worst dude on the basketball team. You know, I was a football player. So all I knew, I had to go out there and just foul people and just be rough, you know. But I would still run up and down the course with the guys. I couldn't shoot all that well. You know, I probably averaged like 1 point a game or something like that. And so I wasn't good. But you know what? I was always at practice every single time. I did whatever he told me to do. I never talked back. Even if I only got, you know, sometimes he wouldn't put me in the game to like the last 30 seconds. I didn't get upset where other guys, they had to get their playing time, thing like that. And don't you know, at the end of the season, it was the first year he coached. It was the end of the season, he had these trophies. And man, everybody got, you know, had a trophy for everybody. And this one like back in like now where everybody get a trophy. It wasn't like that back in the day. Back in the day, you only got a trophy if you earned it. And I remember everybody had he had these big old trophies. He had one trophy. It was like 3-4 feet tall. And it was the MVP trophy. And of course, everybody wanted it, you know. And I had I didn't think it would even, you know, be close to even being in competition for it. And man, he went out there and it was the last trophy he gave out. And don't you know, he picked me as his MVP because I worked harder than everybody that year. I didn't score the most points. I was not the best player on the team, but he said I was his MVP because I was what a player should have been. You know, and that boosted my confidence. That let me know that even though everybody else might not be watching, the main one is watching, and the main one watching, which is the Lord God. When He see the work you're doing, the world might not see what you're doing, but when God see it, He will reward you. And that He just called me without even thinking. He taught me that concept, and that's why I've always pushed forward to work as hard as I can, whether somebody acknowledge me for it or not. I still keep going. You know, so again, my point is this. Like I said, I'm sorry I got on a tangent, but it's just I've had so many people that influenced my life and it's helped me get to where I'm at that wasn't family. And that's why I want y'all to see from this lesson. Just because you're genetically connected to somebody, just because y'all share the same blood or live in the same house, that does not make them family. If they're not pushing you forward, if they're not trying to help you reach your goals, if they're not doing anything to help you get to where you need to be at, they don't mean they're family. They just mean you're blood related. And I want y'all to see that because family doesn't always have your back. And again, I'm not bashing family tonight. I'm not saying to go out and start cutting people off in family, but I'm helping you see that. I do want you to see that we have to have wisdom and discernment when we're dealing with family as well as strangers. You know, we always judging the strangers we let in our lives, but sometimes we need to focus more on our family, the ones that's close to us as well, because those are the ones that have the knife and can get close enough to stab us in the back. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I want to focus on tonight. And again, I'm not saying start distancing yourself from family, but I am saying to be sure to use discretion when you're deciding who to let around you, and that includes family. That is the point in this lesson tonight. So that was my introduction. Again, like I said, my heart is heavy, and this just happened to be going through this lesson. Like I said, this just worked out. God worked this out. I just happened to be bringing this lesson tonight, and then somebody that's been like a brother to me for the last 20-some years passed away. So my heart is really heavy, y'all, and I get to think about all the people. And as a matter of fact, I'll tell y'all this too. I love y'all. I don't know everybody that's watching this video, whether you live or watch it later. I love y'all, man. We do not know how much time we got. We never know. I hope there's no bitterness in my heart toward anybody or toward me. And I just want to let y'all know I love y'all. You ever did anything to mess me over, I forgive you, because life is too short for that. Life is too short, and you just never know. And that just really touched me to know that this guy I was just talking to earlier this year, healthy as an ox, fine. He was just posting silly memes on Facebook yesterday morning, and now he's gone. He's already in eternity. And like I said, the only thing that helped me keep him together, because I talked to him, I know that he was saved, and that's a blessing. But like I said, there was family. There was family there. So whenever I find out the family funeral arrangement, I'm definitely gonna try to get down there, because that was like a brother to me. So that's what I want y'all to see tonight. There are gonna be other people in your world that you're gonna come across because of your journey through this world that will be more family than your actual family will ever be. And we're gonna see that tonight. Just because somebody is blood related does not make them family. Family is blood is not always thicker than water. So I'm gonna go ahead and pray, and then I'm gonna jump into this. Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, we come today as your humble servants. First of all, thanking you for another day on this earth, Lord. Just like I said, dealing with this loss, of a brother of mine, the way it is, it was so unexpected. But it just shows you, Lord, we just do not know. We really don't know how much time we have. We don't know when we're going to get that call to come home, Lord. And it just really touched me when I've just been kind of out of it all day. But I know your word got to go on. And I prayed you send your spirit down upon me as I bring this lesson tonight, and let your spirit flow through me so I can relate a message that, there's going to be people that's coming in our world that you're going to send in our lives. You've always sent the right people in my life at the right time to help me get to where I need to be. And 9 times out of 10, it wasn't family. I've had more strangers and just friends that I've made over the years do more for me than my family ever have, Lord. And again, I'm not bashing my family. That's just the truth. I've had more strangers do more for me than my actual family has. So I wanted to look at this lesson tonight. We're going to look at this family and this conflict that's in the middle of this family. Two brothers. What these two brothers, two people that's supposed to be helping each other and make it through this world, that is going to actually be deceiving each other and hurting each other. And I want people to see that sometimes family is the one that hurts you, because they're the ones that's closest to you can hurt you the most. And sometimes, it's sadly to say, it's family. So I just pray you be with us as we go through this lesson, Lord. Continue to keep your hand upon us. Like I said, thank you for your word. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for all the ones that's joining us here tonight. And I just thank you so much for using me to do this wonderful work. Thank you for calling me to this ministry and putting your word into my heart. So I just pray you just keep your spirit down upon me, Lord. Send your spirit down upon me and help me work through this that I'm feeling right now, and help me work to bring the message that the people need to hear. And more importantly, Lord, I pray you send your spirit down upon the hearts of those that's watching this message as well. Touch their hearts and help them get the truth from it, and let a seed be planted so they may have the wisdom and discretion they need when they're deciding on who to let into their lives. We ask you just watch over us as we go through this, Lord, and just continue to shine your love and grace down upon us, and continue to shine your love and grace down upon this ministry and family, and continue to use it to do a wonderful work in your name. We love you and thank you for all you've done and given, and we say this prayer in your wonderful Son, Jesus' name. Amen. All right, so if y'all got your Bibles, again, we're gonna be in Genesis. Now, again, like I said, this just worked out. I didn't put this together specifically because my boy passed away, my brother passed away today. It just happened. This is what I was talking about today, and it just happened to be the same day, the day after he passed away, I got the news. But we're going to be in the book of Genesis, chapter 25. And I'm going to start, like I said, I'm not going to do the whole chapter 25. I'm not going to do the whole chapter 28. It's just bits and pieces that relate to this story. But we're going to look at these two brothers that struggle with each other from the very beginning. And it's going to show you that, family ain't always there for you. And like I said, I'm not bashing. This is not a family bashing sermon. I'm not saying that they go get away from your family and run away from them. I'm just saying family don't always have your best interest in heart. And so you got to make sure that when you're asking God to let the right people in your world, pray for your family as well. Because family is the ones we tend to overlook the things they do, and it tend to get overshadowed because we so focused on these strangers, and they'll be the very ones that's trying to bring us down. So that's why I want y'all to want to do this lesson to help you see that blood ain't always thicker than water. So we're going to be in the way it's going to go tonight, I'm going to be in Genesis chapter 25, starting in verse 19, and then finish out the chapter. Then I'm going to jump over to chapter 27. I'm going to go through the whole chapter 27, and then I'm going to do the first paragraph in chapter 28. So again, just talk about family. You know, like I said, there's people in my world that I've come across that is more family than me than my actual family has been. And you're going to see right here why that happens, how that happens. Family, like I said, family is not always just because we're blood, we're family. No, family means, hey, you got my back no matter what. You're willing to make the sacrifices to help me get ahead. You're willing to take, you know what I'm saying, you're willing to go out on a limb and stretch your neck out for me to show me that, hey, you truly here to support me. That's true family. But all family, just because you're blood related, don't mean they have your best interests at heart. So we're going to start, and of course, y'all, I'm reading out the New Living Translation. If you've been following me at all, watched any of my videos, you know I'm a King James believer. Definitely 100% King James believer, but I always read out the New Living Translation for my ministry because there's people that I try to appeal to that maybe not highly educated, maybe dropped out so they can hustle. So that's the kind of group that I try to. That's my what is the word I'm looking for? That's my target audience, so to speak. So that's why I read out the New Living Translation. But I do believe in the King James, and if there's any major thing in the King James that I need to point out, I always do, which I don't see any tonight. And we're just gonna go through this story. And like I said, it's 2.5 chapters, maybe 2.5 chapters, but it's not a lot. Most of it's just story reading. So y'all don't freak out. Be like, Brother John gonna keep us on here all night. It shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. So, but we're gonna go ahead and jump into this. And if you got your Bibles open, we're gonna start over in Genesis chapter 25, verses 19. So in Genesis 25:19, the Lord tells us this. It says, "This is the history of the family of Isaac, the son of Abraham. When Isaac was 40 years old, he married Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean from Pandan Aram, and the sister of Laban. Now Isaac pleaded with the Lord to give Rebekah a child because she was childless. So the Lord answered Isaac's prayer, and his wife became pregnant with twins." So the very first one right here, and it's not necessarily dealing with family, but it does in a way. But it's still an important point I wanted to make here. Be sure that you are going to the Lord for solutions to your problems. Make sure when you got a problem right here, we see Isaac had a problem. His wife was barren. She hadn't had any kids. Now, if you know the history, and especially back in these times, it was crucial to have a kid. Like, you know, it was almost a disgrace for a woman and a man, especially a married woman and a man, to not have children. Like, it was, because they believed that if the woman didn't have children, that her womb was so polluted, or she was such a bad person, that God wasn't blessing her because her womb was polluted because she was such an evil person. So to not have a kid, that was a thing of shame back then. And of course, we know if Isaac don't have a kid, he don't have an heir to his throne, and God's promise that was made to him about the people, his descendants taking over the land of Canaan wouldn't be able to come true. And he was starting to get older. And you know, his dad didn't have a kid till he was almost like 80, 90 years old. And I guess Isaac, he was fearing that he was going to be in the same situation. So he went to the Lord and asked the Lord to give him a kid. So make sure that whatever you're going through, when you got problems in your life, make sure you're going to the Lord. And you see, he went to the Lord, and the Lord not only gave him a kid, he gave him two of them. You know, because he went to the Lord. They didn't go to no fertility doctors trying to get pregnant. They didn't go try some kind of weird drug. Or they didn't go and have somebody else come in and lay with his wife so she can get pregnant. No, they went to the Lord. They went to the Lord and asked. So make sure that whatever problems you got going in your life, that you're going to the Lord for the solutions. And again, this includes asking for discretion to surround yourself with the right people. You know, so this includes when you're dealing with your family as well. When you're dealing with your family, like I said, you're going to have family problems, especially you got brothers and sisters and things of that nature. You're going to have family problems. You're going to get into your little skiffs, but make sure you ask the Lord to give you the wisdom to handle those problems. You know what I'm saying? Don't just go in them out of anger. Make sure you go to the Lord for your solutions. And Isaac had a problem. His wife was childless. And again, this is all got to do with family. And he went to the Lord and asked the Lord to bless his wife, and the Lord heard him. You know, so then it says the next verse, said, but the two, so he, again, the Lord blessed them, and she got pregnant with twins. It said, but the two children struggled with each other in her womb. So she went to ask the Lord about it. Why is this happening to me? She asked. So number two is this. You're going to struggle with family at times, but seek meekness from the Lord to help straighten it out. You know, you're going to, it's amazing. We got 5 kids and then we adopted one, you know, and even though I was raised in the same house with the same parents, same rules, they are 6 completely different individuals. None of them are the exact. They all got stuff in common, but for the most part, they are completely separate individuals. All of them are completely different. You know, and it's just such a weird dynamic. You think they belong the same house, same rules, same all that. They'll be the same. They're not. They're completely different. So because of all those different personalities, you're gonna struggle with family at times. You're gonna have family struggles. You're not gonna always see the eye to eye. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, we got the election coming up, and you might have one family member that's a Democrat, the other's a Republican, diehard Republican, the other's a diehard Democrat, and you know what I'm saying, they get to arguing and fighting over an election or something like that. So you're gonna have struggle with your family, but what you want to do is go to the Lord and ask for meekness on how to deal with it. And we saw that's what Rebecca did. She had her 2 boys. She loved them both. You know, well, she didn't know they was boys, but she had her 2 kids, and they were struggling inside. She knew something was wrong. She knew something was wrong, and she went to the Lord to find out what was going on. You know, and she went to the Lord to get the wisdom to find out what is going on here. You know, what is going on? And the Lord told her. In verse 23, he says, and the Lord told her, the sons in your womb will become 2 rival nations. So that what was going on. She went to the Lord to find out, you know, what's going on here. Why am I, you know, you've blessed me. You've given me these 2 sons, but yet they're struggling. Something's going on. Something's going on, you know. And it says here, he says, the sons in your womb will become 2 rival nations. So number 3 is this. Sometimes the ones you are the closest to will be the ones that oppose you the most. And this includes Christian brothers and sisters as well. So get that. Repeat that again. Sometimes the one you're closest to will be the ones that oppose you the most. Because what he said they will be 2 rival nations. And what are rivals? There are people they just absolutely, I'm gonna say hate themselves, but they just can't. They oppose each other. You know, you think about rivalry games. I think about y'all know I'm a Green Bay fan. Well, I can't say fan because I don't really watch it like I used to. But you know, Green Bay is my favorite team. And you know, and whenever we go up against the Bears, it's a fight. You know, they're rivals. You know, they can't stand each other. When they get on their field, you know, it's just all the gloves are off kind of thing. You know, they're a rival. That's what a rival is. It's like you strongly oppose that other person. You want to do everything you can to take that person down, and that person try to do everything they can to take you down. I know in Waverly, Camden, they're our big rivals. Every time, like if nobody comes to any games all year, they come to as long as both teams are doing decent, the Waverly Camden game is packed. Why? Because Camden can't stand Waverly, Waverly can't stand Camden. They're rivals. You see what I'm saying? And so, and Waverly and Camden are separated by a bridge. So that proves my point right there. You know, so right here we got these 2 babies. They were in a womb together. You would think, because most times you see twins, they're like they have this like bond like this. A lot of, especially like identical twins, they have this bond. I've even heard people say that they can feel what the other one is feeling, kind of this weird thing. I know people have heard that before, you know, but sometimes, again, when you're dealing with family, the ones that's close to you going to be the ones that oppose you the most, because that's what a rival do. He's your opposition. He's the one, he's at odds with you. And that's what he says, that these are going to be rival nations. In other words, it said even from the beginning, even in the womb, they were against each other. But yet, they share the same womb. You know, they share the same womb. So you would think with them being that close that they would be with each other, but they was against each other. And like I said, that not only goes with, you know, your physical family, that can go with our own Christians and brothers as well. Something I've started doing, because I did a lesson a few weeks back. It was a Bible study on the book of John, and I can't remember exactly what it was. I believe it was John chapter 17, and it was the prayer of Jesus. And you know, I was doing things, you know, the Bible study was called the prayer of Jesus, and I was showing things that we should be praying for. And one thing that I realized I wasn't praying for, well, 2 of them I realized I wasn't praying for. I wasn't praying for my enemies, so I started doing that, but also praying for unity among the churches. You know, you got so many churches. You got all these denominations. We're like rivals. You got the Church of Christ. Oh, we're right, and those Baptists are crazy. You got Baptists saying, oh, we're right, and those Church of Christ people are crazy, or the Methodists are crazy, or these charismatics, they're weird. You know, but when in reality we should be united. We should be all on the same front, because we all trying to worship the same God. But in reality, a lot of times with Christians, Christians be the first one, especially when you do something, if they don't feel you're doing living a certain way, or you being the perfect Christian, so to speak, they'll be the main ones to judge you. They'll be the main ones to talk about you. Actually, know what I'm talking about. My friend, we got a Kanye West, and everybody know Kanye West. Know he's a controversial dude, but he started doing like gospel music, and he even had a song. You know, says that what do you hear about the Christian from the Christian? And he said they the main ones that's judging me. You know, the very people that he was trying to help, you know, trying to glorify God, so they should be happy that he's changed his life around and glorifying God. They were the main ones telling him he shouldn't be doing it. They was the main ones talking about it. So you got to understand, family, whether it's your Christian family or your actual physical family, don't always have your best interest at heart. And that's why you got to watch who you're around. You got to watch who you let in your lives. You got to watch and ask God for discernment and meekness to deal with these people. Because again, the hardest part of serving the Lord and being a Christian is discerning to have it. You got to have the right people around you. If you don't have the right people around you, you're not going to stay on the right path. And they will pull you back, or they will pull you down. And like I said, sadly, our own Christians and brothers are some of the main ones that do it. They you know, you got people. I love the church I'm at. I love it to death because, man, I'm telling you, it's some people that in there that dress nice. You know, they dress nice, but man, you don't have to. I would say that for our church, man, you come to our church as you are. Nobody's gonna judge you. Nobody's gonna judge you. Nobody's gonna talk about you. Everybody, they're gonna come and shake your hand. They're gonna come and talk to you. No, we want you to come to our church. We want you to come as you are. There's no judgment there. But I have been in churches where people judge. You know, they look at somebody come in. They got tattoos all over them, or got earrings and things like that, and they get to turn their nose up at them, won't even go and shake their hand or socialize with them at all, or they'll see them out, you know, they say, hey, brother, while they at church, and then you see them out in Walmart, they act like they don't know them kind of thing. That stuff happens. You know what I'm saying? So again, that's what you're within your own Christian family. So a lot of times, the ones that are closest to you are the ones that would oppose you the most. You know, like me, for instance. Anybody know me? You guys know me. I'm unconventional. I'm not the conventional preacher. I didn't go the conventional methods of coming into the ministry. I was rough. I'm a little rough around the edges, so to speak. And of course, when I'm on here, I have to be all eloquent and professional. But if you know me outside of here, you know I can be a little rough around the edges. You know, and it'll be, you know, some other Christians see that. Oh man, I can't believe he's supposed to be a pastor. He's supposed to be this. He's supposed to be that. I can't believe he's saying this or talking like this or doing that. You know, to be the very same Christian. I know I had some people criticizing me because I like to do this. And when I do this show, I got on my little T-shirt here. And the reason why is because, like, if I just start wearing outfits, I got to wear a different outfit every time if I'm trying to keep up with the appearance. And I don't got that kind of money. I just bought a pack of these, $7. And I can switch them out interchangeably, and nobody in the world never know. You know, it's just a lot easier for me. You know, but they was, I can't believe he's supposed to be a pastor, and he's on there, you know, in a wife beater and all this. And the very same ones, if you ask them what did they even listen to what I was talking about, they couldn't tell you what I was talking about because they were so focused on criticizing me for what I had on. They, instead of listening to the message, they was trying to criticize the messenger. And Christians would do that. So you have to be careful. Christians would do that, but your family would do that as well. So you have to be careful with that. And we see here it said the Lord told her the sons in your womb will become two rival nations. So you can't be no closer than sharing a womb with somebody. Sharing a room is one thing. Sharing a house is one thing. But sharing a womb, you can't get no closer than that. But yet the Lord said from the beginning, they're going to be rivals. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be rivals. You see what I'm saying? So you got to understand that the ones that are closer to you sometimes can be the ones that are going to oppose you the most. And again, that means your physical family, worldly family, but also your Christian family can do the same thing. So be careful of that. That's why I say ask for wisdom from the Lord, discretion and meekness to deal with people like that. So then he says, he said, the Lord said to her, the sons of your womb will become two rival nations. He said, one nation will be stronger than the other, and the descendants of the younger, your older son will serve the descendants of your younger son. So number 4 is this: just because you were born the same, don't mean you will be blessed the same. You got to understand that just because you were born the same, don't mean you was blessed. Just because you're in the same family, we all cousins, you know, we all in the same, don't mean that you're going to be blessed the same. Everybody's going to be blessed different. God has something different for everybody, and your blessing depends on how close you is to your relationship with God. You know, and a lot of people that are born into, you know, church families and they born into families of ministers, things like that, and they think that they automatically gonna get those same blessings that's been coming to their dad or their granddad or whatever it is that's been doing the work, and that's not true. You got to work to get your own blessings. And just because, and a lot of times family get upset because they feel like, well, who is he? Think about Jesus situation. He had other brothers and sisters as well. But yet, he walking around saying he was the Messiah. They didn't like that. You remember at one point, they actually went to him and they tried to take him home. They said he just got beside himself. And you remember they were trying to get in, and they said, well, Jesus got beside himself. Go tell him to come here, so we can take him home. And the people told him, like, Jesus, your mother and your brother and your sisters out there, and they want to, I don't know if he said sister, but you said your mother and your brothers out there, and they was wanting you to come here. And what did Jesus say? He said, who's my mother? Who's my brother? He said, anybody that's following me and obey my commands, that's my sister and my mother and my brothers. You see what I'm saying? In other words, just because they were blood related to me don't mean they my family. The ones that's following me, the ones that's doing what I'm telling them to do, that's my true family. The ones that believe in me and do what I command, that's my true family. See, Jesus himself said the same thing. So you got to understand that. Just because you were born the same don't mean you're blessed the same. They was a little upset because they were like, well, this is Jesus, our brother. How did who is he to be, the Messiah and all that? And they was kind of hating on him a little bit. And they tried to come and take him home, take him away from his will. And he said, no, who is my mother? Who's my brothers? Those that listen to me, basically. Those that listen to me, those that do what I say, those are my true mothers and brothers. And he just played them off. He didn't even go out. And if you see, he never did go out to him. He just kept on preaching, doing what God had him to do. So you got to understand that. Just because you were blessed the same, born in the same house, father the same room, like again with my kids, all of them are different. They all have their own different separate set of blessings. Some can do more than others, have better abilities than others. But just because they're in the same family, come from the same mom and dad, they mean they're going to be blessed the same. And that's what's happening here. He said one is going to be stronger than the other. It's just how it is. One's going to be stronger than the other, and the older is going to serve the younger one. And the Lord let them know. He said that's why they got these struggles. That's why they fighting before they ain't even born yet, and they was always struggling in the stomach. So you're gonna struggle with family at times, and a lot of times it's because sometimes it's out of envy, sometimes out of just jealousy, sometimes out of just plain right hatred, downright hatred. It happens, but that's why I say you gotta understand family is not, blood is not always thicker than water. So just because they're family, don't let them bring you down and pull you away from the things that God has for you to do. And that's what Jesus did. Jesus like, man, who's my mother? Who's my brother? Don't come to me talking about my mom and brother. If they trying to tell me I'm crazy, they trying to pull me away from this work I'm doing, then they're not really my mother or my brothers. The people that he looked around and said, these ones right here, this is my mother and my brother. So again, family, just because you're blood don't mean you're family. And Jesus himself said that one. So then if you look at verse 24, it says, now, it said, and when the time came, the twins were born. The first was very red at birth. He was covered with so much hair that one would think that he was wearing a piece of clothing. So they called him Esau. Then the other twin was born with his hand grasping Esau's heel. So they called him Jacob. So number 5 is this, and I think I already kind of said it, but this is my actual point to it. I kind of got ahead of myself. Sometimes the main ones that should be pushing you forward will try to pull you backwards. Again, the main ones, I'm talking about family. The main ones that should be pushing you forward will try to pull you backwards. We see here, we got these two boys. Both of them, of course, both of them want to be born. Both of them want to get out the womb. And Esau, he broke 4. He tried to get out. And what did Jacob do? Jacob tried to pull him back in there. Why? Because he wanted to be the firstborn. And we see he's going to end up, getting to have that position as we get a little bit deeper into the story. But, he was, his brother was trying to break free. So instead of him pushing his brother forward, of course, he's a baby. I'm not saying he was in there like, I'm going to pull him back kind of thing. He don't know what he's doing. But, but it's crazy with the way the story went. From the very beginning, they was already at odds with each other. And the older one trying to get out and escape. Try to go into the world, try to go do what he's supposed to be doing, and he got the young one grabbing his heel, trying to pull him back in. So you got to understand that'll happen. Sometimes the main ones that should be pushing you forward be the ones that try to pull you backwards. And again, I go back to my life in the hood. Now, one thing I have to say about growing up in the hood, I didn't have a lot of people. Most people encouraged me. I can't really just say I had anyone that told me that I wasn't gonna be nothing or told me that tried to hinder me from progressing. But I have seen it happen. So I can't say, I'm not going to lie to you guys and say, well, I had somebody put me down. No, I have not had people. Most people always told me that God had something from me. They always told me I was better. Even a lot of, I don't know if you heard my testimony. I told y'all the reason why I never sold drugs because drugs dealers wouldn't let me. They would tell me like, man, you better than this. Like we better never see you out here. So if we ever see you out here, you gonna have to answer to us. And we had some ruthless drug dealers in our neighborhood, and I didn't want to have to answer to them. So I always had people pushing me forward. But there are times in your life where you have your own family be the one turn you down. How many times you see kids with low self-esteem because their dad or their mom telling them they ain't nothing. Turn them down every chance they get. You're worthless. You're fat. You're ugly. You ain't going to be nothing with your life. How many times have we had that happen? How many times have that happened? How many times are people that what that has happened to? It happens. And you got to understand, and these are the very people that should be building them up, but these people are turning them down. You know what I'm saying? And tell you what, if they're turning you down instead of building you up, then guess what? Just because you got the same blood as them, that don't make them family. That don't make them family. Because their blood ain't always sticking in water. That don't make them family. If they're truly family, they're going to push you forward. They're going to do everything they can to motivate you to get to that next level, to be the best you can be. And if somebody's in your life that's not doing that, I don't care how much blood of yours they got, they're not your family. But if you got somebody in your life that is doing that, pushing you forward, motivating you, whether you got blood related or not, that is true family. And I want y'all to understand that. Those are the kind of people you want in your world. So it says, then the other, like I said, the other twin was born holding it with his hand, grasping Esau's heel, so they called him Jacob. Now it says Isaac was 60 years old when the twins were born. Now as the boys grew up, Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the open fields, while Jacob was the kind of person who liked to stay at home. So once again, came from the same womb, but two different people, two completely different people, two completely different set of blessings. So you got to understand that just because they were born in the same house, don't mean they're gonna be blessed the same. And one was blessed one way, and the other was blessed the other way. And because of this, it was some partiality in the family. In verse 28, it said, now Isaac loved Esau in particular because of the wild game he brought home, but Rebekah favored Jacob. So the dad, like the older son, but the mom like the younger son. So it was some partiality there. So number 6 is this, and this is a good thing about serving the Lord. This is something we won't have to worry about. The Lord doesn't show partiality. He loves those who love him. And that's a good thing. We won't have to worry about this in the family. You don't have to worry about that in the family of God. The family of God does have your back. He always there for you. He always going to lift you up. He always going to motivate you. And he always going to do what he can to push you forward. That's the one good thing about, I ain't going to say the one good thing, but that is a good thing about being in the family of God. He's always going to push you forward. And God does not show partiality. He loves those that love him. And it's so funny, y'all. I get into this argument. Well, I don't know, it's an argument, discussion with our family, and our kids are always trying to figure out who's the favorite, who's dad's favorite. And I tell them I don't have a favorite, but they swear up and down, they will put their life on it that Giselle is my favorite. And it's not that she's my favorite, it's just that she just loves me more than they do. Like from the beginning, from the first time that little girl walked out of her womb, she was like my side. She would not leave my side. Like if there was ever a situation and me and Rez was to split, and the kids got to decide which parent they're going to go with, I have no doubt who's going to be with me. It's going to be Giselle, and everybody else going to Rez. She was the only one that just loved me. Like, you know what I'm saying? She loved me. So it's not that she's the favorite. She loved me more than them. So I just return the love. In the same way with God, the more you love him, the more he's going to love you. It's not a matter, God don't play favorites, but he is going to show his love in proportion to the love that you give him. So if you're giving him a lot of love, you're obeying his command, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing the work he has for you to do, of course, people going to look at you like, well, he must be God's pet or God's favorite. No, I'm just showing God the love, and he reciprocating the love to me that I'm giving to him. And that's all I do. I don't truly have favor. I love all my kids the same. They all got potential to do something. But I guess me and Giselle does have a closer bond because, like I said, she just loved me from the beginning. Like all the other kids, they slept under Rez. We slept with all our kids in the bed. All of them slept under Rez except for Giselle. She slept under me. You know what I'm saying? When I come to home, she's the first one at the door. Daddy, daddy, daddy. So again, it's not she's my favorite, and I say that because they always get to arguing over them. They're not a favorite, but she does show more love to me than they do, and that's why I guess we just have a bit of a stronger bond than the other ones have. Not that I don't love them any less, not on partiality to them. It's just that she just love me more than they have, and this is what it is, So, but we got a situation here where there were favorites. The dad, he had his favorite, and the mom had their favorite. And again, you see that even more. There's things like that will cause even more partiality. I mean, it caused even more struggle with each other because they trying to, one might be trying to get the affection of mom, and she giving it to the younger son, and the other trying to get the affection of dad, and he giving it to the older son. So again, we see that struggle there, and and again, these families, it should be no partiality there. It should be just everybody, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, the love will be there, and that's a good thing about being the family of God. We don't have to worry about that. He's going to reciprocate the love you get to him. There's no partiality. So we see in verse 29, it says, now one day when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau arrived home exhausted and hungry from a hunt. Now Esau said to Jacob, I am starved. Give me some of that red stew you've made. Now this was how Esau got his other name Edom, which is red. And Jacob replied, all right, but trade me your birthright for it. Look, I'm died of starvation, said Esau. What good is my birthright to me now? So number 7 is this, and this is why I say family can do you worse than anybody. Your family knows, number 7 is this, your family knows your weakness, and sometimes they'll use it to exploit you. Your family know, Jacob knew that Esau had been out hunting. He knew he was famished. It was probably, over there in the Middle East, it was probably hot. I'm pretty sure it was hot. It was definitely hot during the day and then cool at night. So he knew he was famished, and he knew that right then and there he was weak, and he wasn't really thinking straight to the point where he caught him off guard. And he was like, well, if you know what I'm saying, if I give you some of this, you show me your birthright. So you gotta understand, your family knows you. That's why they can hurt you so much, because they know you more than others. They spend all their time with you. Again, these guys have literally been together since the womb. So he knew him. He knew his habits. He knew everything it was about him, and he used it to exploit him. You see what I'm saying? A stranger would treat you better sometimes than a family will, because they don't know all those things. They won't try to support you with the things that the secrets that you've told them over the years or the time that you spent and confiding in them. They won't use that against you, but family will. Sometimes family will. And again, that's why you got to be careful who you hang around, including family. So again, your family knows your weakness, and sometimes they'll try to use it to exploit you. And that's exactly what happened here. Jacob knew that Esau was famished. He knew that he was tired. He knew he wasn't thinking straight, and he used this moment to exploit his brother. Instead of, he's going to use this moment to steal the blessing that belongs to his brother, instead of, helping push his brother forward, making sure his brother stayed on the right path so he can get the blessing. He sit here and he came up with this scheme to steal his blessings. So it said in verse 33, it says, so Jacob insisted. Esau said, look, I'm dying of starvation, said Esau. What good is my birthright to me now? So Jacob insisted, well then, swear to me right now that it is mine. So Esau swore an oath, thereby selling all his birthrights as the firstborn to his younger brother. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and lentil stew, and Esau ate and drank and went on about his business. Indifferent, and here go the statement, indifferent to the fact that he had given up his birthright. So number 8 is this. When you always put family first, you want the people, my family come first. My family, you got to put family first. When you always put family first, sometimes you don't realize the blessings that you could be missing out on, because you're not letting the other people that come in that will treat you more than family. You choosing family over this family that has messed you over time and time again, over a friend that has always been there for you. And you choose family instead of friend, and you don't realize the blessing that you're missing out on. Now, in this situation, it says that Esau was indifferent the fact that he had given his birthright up. And again, we see number 7 come into play, that your family knows your weakness, and sometimes they can use it to exploit you. Because you got to understand, Jacob was if you read it, you can see Esau was more of the jock, and Jacob was more of the smart one. So he knew that the promise that God had made. He knew the promise that God had made to Abraham. He knew the promise God had made to Isaac. And he knew that the promise wasn't supposed to come to him because he wasn't the oldest. It was supposed to go to Esau. See, Esau ain't even thinking about it. See, Jacob thinking about it. He knows the promise. And he's trying to steal those blessings. And that's why I said Esau was indifferent. He's not even thinking about the fact that he just gave up this mighty nation that the Lord said the Israelites was going to be. He's not thinking about the fact that the descendants that he's supposed to have, that's like the stars of the sky, the supposed to be the one that the king coming. He didn't even think about it. He wasn't even concerned with it. He just wanted something to eat. Well, Jacob knew. Jacob knew when he got Esau to sell him that birthright. He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly. He knew he was stealing. He knew he was stealing this major blessing that was supposed to go to Esau, and he was able to steal it. So again, when you put family first, you don't realize the blessing you could be missing out on. You know, that's why Jesus said, what did Jesus say again? Jesus himself said that. He said, if you don't put me before your mother, your mother, your kids, and I'm misquoting it, and you can go find it yourself, but he's saying, that's over in Matthew. He said, unless I come first, basically, then you're not worthy to follow me. You know, if you don't put me before your wife, your husband, your kids, your mother, your father, your brother, if you don't put me first, then you're not worthy to follow me. You see what I'm saying? And that's what happens when we got this mentality where we got to put family first. Because like I said, that was driven into my head, you know, blood sticking in water. Every time my family screwed me over, you know, you want to get upset with them and leave them alone. With blood thickening in water, you gotta mend that. You know, blood thickening in water, you gotta straighten that out. You know, basically let them screw you over and just take it. No, blood is not always thickening in water. You know, and if you always put family first, then you'll be missing out on your blessings. There's somebody that could have came in your life that will treat you better than your family has. And again, I know I did it for some time, but then as the time went on, just through the wisdom that the Lord gave me, and when I started my journey and I left Memphis, that's why I knew I had to leave Memphis. And when I left Memphis, I started finding people that was truly more of my family than my family has ever been. And like I said, that's the reason why I am who I am today. And there's a big part of that because I found people that was truly family, even though they wasn't blood. And we see here with his blood, this is his own brother, screwing him over, stealing this major blessing. Esau, the nation of Israel, the nation of Israel that it is now, that it became, that was supposed to go to Esau. Now, Esau did become a mighty nation, but he was nothing in comparison to what the children of Jacob became. And matter of fact, just like we're going to see, get over here, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but we're going to see for a time that the children of Esau had to serve the children of Jacob because Jacob had became that powerful. But see, Esau, again, he just wanted something to eat. He wasn't thinking about all that, but Jacob was. You know why? Because think about it. You know, anybody that know me knows my testimony. And I'm telling you something, if nobody knows my testimony better than my kids, because they've heard me, you know, I shared it with them, of course, and when they went out soul winning, I've shared it with people a million times, and they can probably, honestly, if you can ask them my testimony, they can probably tell you my whole testimony. So again, you think about that, and you know what I'm saying, when a father has something like that that's near and dear to him, and he's always talking about it, I can only imagine, I guarantee you that the same thing was true of this promise that the Lord made to Isaac and Abraham. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like, I can guarantee you they sit around talking about that. You know, this is the promise that was made. You know, he's going to come to my seed. This is the promise. So Jacob had that on his mind. He knew that there was this promise that was made. The Lord was going to make him this mighty nation. The world was going to be blessed through this nation. And all these great things going to be done. And Jacob knew that. But he also knew that it wasn't supposed to go to him. It was supposed to go to his brother. So what did he do? Knowing his family, knowing this secret, knowing that having his conscious about it, where Esau is not, he took advantage of Esau and he stole that from him. You know what I'm saying? Family, his own brother messed him over. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, don't get caught up in this trap. That's my family. I just got to stick it out and mend this bun and stick it through. Family ain't always got your best interests at heart. You know what I'm saying? You treat your family, judge your family, not judge them like you righteous and you judge them. But judge them, watch them, have the wisdom to make sure that your family is the right people to be in your life as well. Because we see here from this situation, and it's going to get definitely a little bit worse as we go to chapter 27, that the family ain't the one that had his best interest in heart. His own family didn't have his best interest at heart. Matter of fact, his own family, his own brother, somebody that he shared a womb with, was the one that ended up screwing him over and made him miss out on a major blessing. So now that was the end of 25, and now we can go and we're going to see what Jacob pretty much screws him over again, over in chapter 27. And the title of that one is Jacob Steals Esau's Blessing. So in verse 1, the Lord tells us in verse 1 of chapter 27, said, now when Isaac was old and almost blind, he called for Esau, his older son, and said, my son. Yes, father, Esau replied. He said, I am an old man now, Isaac said, and I expect every day to be my last. Take your bow and a quiver full of arrows out into the open country and hunt some wild game for me. Prepare it just the way I like it, so it's savory and good, and bring it here for me to eat. Then I will pronounce the blessing that belongs to you, my firstborn son, before I die. So you see right there, he reiterated, like this promise that God has promised us, it belongs to you. You're the one that's supposed to have that. You're the oldest one. You know what I'm saying? You're the one that's supposed to have that. You're the oldest one. So go out here and do this. I'm going to give you this task. Go complete this task. And when you complete this task, come back and I'm going to give you the blessing that belongs to you. So it clearly belongs to, again, Jacob knew all this. Jacob knew that this blessing, the promise, belonged to Esau because he was the first one. Because again, if you understand the Bible, you understand that culture, the oldest one was the one that inherited everything. You know what I'm saying? The oldest one was the one that's supposed to inherit everything. He was the one that's going to be the man of the house. He's the one that was supposed to take over. That was always the oldest one, unless it was a situation where the oldest just wasn't competent enough, which we saw that happen with Jacob's kids, actually, because he ended up giving the thing to passing on to Joseph instead of his older son because they wasn't competent enough. But in tradition, the oldest one is the one that's supposed to get the promise. He's the one that's supposed to get the inheritance. He's the one that everything is passed down through. So that's what he's telling him. I'm going to pronounce this blessing because it belongs to you. So once again, this is something that belongs to Esau, not Jacob. But watch what happens. In verse 5 it said, but Rebekah overheard the conversation. So when Esau left to hunt for the wild game, she said to her son Jacob, I overheard your father asking Esau to prepare him a delicious meal of wild game. He wants to bless Esau in the Lord's presence before he dies. Now, my son, do exactly as I tell you. Go out to the flocks and bring me two fine young goats. I'll prepare your father's favorite dish from them, and take the food to your father. Then he can eat it and bless you instead of Esau before he dies. So number 9 is this. He said she told him, take the food to your father, then he can eat it and bless you instead of Esau before he dies. So number 9 is this. This is another thing you gotta understand about family. Sometimes family feel like they are entitled to be given what you have worked hard for. They feel like, how many times have we seen where guys make the NFL and they go broke because they paying their family bills and doing too much for their family. A famous one, we think about MC Hammer. Look what happened to MC Hammer. All that money he had went broke because he's trying to take care of family. And a lot of people feel like, especially if they done something for you, they maybe let you spend a night at their house or something, they feel entitled to your success. Even though you worked hard to get it, they feel like you owe them, kind of thing. And that's what family do. Jacob haven't done anything for this. He wasn't the firstborn. He wasn't the one going out there to get the meat that his daddy liked. He wasn't the one that did his work. It was a reason why the dad favored him, and I believe he just worked harder than Jacob. Jacob seemed like one that worked smart and not hard. Where Esau didn't mind putting a little elbow grease to the task. He didn't mind going out there and doing the work that he needed to do to provide for his family. But yet Jacob felt like he was the one. Now, of course, his mama put it up to it, but still, he felt like he was the one that should have had those blessings. And he wanted it for himself anyway. That's why he stole the birthright. That's why he stole the birthright, because he wanted the blessings that Esau had earned. So you got to understand that family would do that. They feel like they're entitled just because they're your family, just because we got the same blood in our veins. They feel like they're entitled to have what you've earned. So you have to be careful with family, because they'll do that to you, and they'll try to guilt you into giving up something that you've earned yourself, something that you worked hard for. When they had the same potential, same time, same effort they could have put in, they didn't do it, but they want to take from you when you don't want to actually buckle down and did it. So then in verse 11 he says, now Jacob, he kind of protests because he wanted it, but he knew his dad wasn't dumb and he didn't want to get caught in no trap. He said, but in verse 11 he said, but mother, Jacob replied, he won't be fooled that easily. Think how hairy Esau is and how smooth my skin is. What if my father touches me? He'll see that I'm trying to trick him, and then he'll curse me instead of blessing me. So he knew his daddy wasn't no fool, so he was worried about that. He like, look, I want these blessings, but I ain't trying to get no curse. And if I go in there trying to trick dad and he realizes what's going on, I'm actually going to be worse off than what I was. So then the mom said, let the curse fall on me, dear son, said Rebekah. Just do what I tell you. Go out and get the goats. So in verse 14 it says, so Jacob followed his mother's instructions. So number 10 is this. Now, of course, this is not a good situation, but he was obedient to his mother, and because of that, he was able to get blessed instead of his brother. So number 10 is this. I'm going to change a little bit because it ain't quite going, but I do want y'all to get a good lesson from this. So number 10 is this. Following God's instruction is what will lead you to your blessings, even without the support of your family. So again, in this situation, he followed his mother's instruction, and he went out, and we're going to see he's going to be able to get blessed. But in real life, in your Christian walk, following God's instruction is what will lead you to your blessings, even without the support of your family. Following God's instruction, that again, I'm telling y'all, this is all from experience with me. That's what happened to me. You know, I'm a young kid in Memphis. Had never really been outside of Memphis other than a couple of field trips, a couple of times here and there with the Boy Scouts and things of that nature. And for me to just up and just move to a place where I didn't even know anybody at all, had never been there, that was a big thing for me. But I did it because that was the Lord showed me that I had to do. He showed me that my place was not in Memphis. It was not with my family, and it was something that he had for me. And I followed his instructions, and I got blessed because of it. And that's how I ended up going to TSU in Nashville, went to school, completed school, got to meet my wife, got this wonderful family I had because I followed the Lord's instructions. The Lord guided me in that direction, and I went the way he guided me. And that's how you get God's blessing in your life, by following his command, following the path that he has for you. God has a will for all of us. He has something he wants us to do. He has something that he made us specifically to do. And we got to follow his path so we can find his will for our life. The safest place to be is in the will of God. So following his instructions will lead you to that place, and that's how you will get your blessings. Even when like I said, when I left here, man, I came to Nashville with about $200 in my pocket, and that's it. I didn't know anybody. I had no family in the area. I didn't know anybody. I was just like, man, I just arrived. You know, with the $200 I had in my pocket and my stuff that I had for my room at the house, my stereo and things like that. And I just came up here, and God just worked out all the rest. You know what I'm saying? The rest is history, so to speak. You know, but I followed God's instruction, and I didn't have family. I didn't have. I don't think anybody. No, there was nobody from my family that came to my graduation. I had a couple over the years that may have visited. Like even to this day, I don't think only one or two people from my family has ever been up here especially since I've been living in Wayward, New Johnsonville, ever been up here to visit my house. You know what I'm saying? We don't have that close relationship. And that's what I was going. Most people, when they go into the Word, go off to college, they got to support their family. I didn't have that, but I did have God's instructions, and I knew that I needed to go. I knew that I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I knew God was going to let something happen. And I followed his instruction, and that's how I got the blessing that I have. So you got to understand, following God's instruction is what will lead you to your blessings, even without the support of your family. Like I said, that ain't exactly what that is saying, but Jacob did follow his mother's instruction, and we're going to see because he did what his mama told him to do, he's going to be able to get this major blessing. So it says, so Jacob followed his mother's instruction, bringing her the 2 goats. She took them and cooked a delicious meat dish, just the way Isaac liked it. Then she took Isaac's best clothes, Esau's best clothes, which were there in the house, and dressed Jacob with them. She made him a pair of gloves from the hairy skin of the young goats, and she fastened a strip of the goat skin around his neck. Then she gave him the meat dish, which is rich with its rich aroma, and some freshly baked bread. Jacob carried the platter of food to his father and said, "My father." "Yes, my son," he answered. "Who is it, Esau or Jacob?" And Jacob replied, "It is Esau, your older son." So number 11 is this. Sometimes family think they can be you just because they know you. That's what he did. He really, he had to, his mama told him to do this, but he he knew his brother enough to where he can pull that off. And he ended up pulling it off. And we got to understand, sometimes family think just because they know you, they can be you just because they know you. This is, well, who are you to be special? Who are you to be doing this? Who are you to be doing that? We was raised in the same house, same thing. I can be doing the same thing. Family would have that attitude, man. They get upset because, y'all came from the same background, went through the same situation, same thing, but you end up excelling before more than they excelling. So instead of them being happy for you and encourage you to keep going, they actually get upset at you and feel like, well, that should be me. They had an attitude, that should be me doing this. That should be me having these great things going on in my life. Why you? What makes you so special? Family would think just because because they know you, that they can be you. And that's what Jacob was doing. He felt like just because he knew his brother, he can be his brother, and he should have been his brother, and he should have those blessings. And that's why he's going through his mother's plan. Because if he didn't believe that, he would told his mother, like, "Mom, I appreciate what you're trying to do for me, but this ain't right, I'm not going to do it." But no, he felt that he deserved those blessings, and he felt he should be his brother, and that's why he went out there and betrayed his brother and tricked his blind dad into giving him those blessings. So then it says, Jacob replied, his dad asked, "Who is it?" And it said, of course, Jacob replied, "Is Esau your older son?" He said, "I've done as you told me. Here is the wild game, cooked the way you like it. Sit up and eat so you can give me your blessing." So once again, we see stealing this blessing. He's stealing this blessing. Your family will be you'll steal your blessing if you let them. They will do it. It says, Isaac asked, "How were you able to find it so quickly, my son?" He said, "Because the Lord your God put it in my path," Jacob replied. So number 12 is this. You got to be careful with this. Number 12 is this. Sometimes family will even try to use your faith against you. And that's what he did right there. When Jacob, when Isaac asked him, like, "How did you get it so quick?" Well, he said, "The Lord your God gave it to me." Try to use the family. And family would do that. They'll call you. They didn't call you with some problem. They didn't call you and borrow money from you 1,000,000 times. You to let them stay at your house, and they didn't stole or disrespect your house, and now you say they can't stay again, and they call it back again, and what they hit you, "Oh, you supposed to be a Christian, and I can't believe you gonna do me like that. You supposed to be a Christian, but you won't let me do this and that and that. You supposed to be a Christian, but you won't loan me this and that and that." They're trying to use your own belief against you. They would do that. Because like I said, family notorious, man. They know you. They know your values. They know what you value the most. They know how you think. They know how you behave. They know your ideals, and they will use that stuff against you. And that's what Jacob did. That's what Jacob did here with his father. He knew that his father trusted in the Lord. His father knew that the Lord does provide, and he used that for him. Think about it. That's what one of God's name came from when Abraham took Isaac up on the mountain. And the Lord and got ready to sacrifice him, and then he saw the ram that was caught in the bush, and what they call him, Jehovah Jireh, the Lord will provide. So Jacob knew. Isaac knew that, and again, Jacob used that against him. I'm pretty sure it's a story that Isaac had told before. Told how, man, my dad tried to kill me one time, but the Lord provided, and Jacob used that against him. So you got to be careful. Your own family will even try to use your faith against you. They'll try to use your faith to get things out of you. You know what I'm saying? The Lord will be telling you, "Hey, leave this person alone. Cut this person off. Get this person out of your life. They're not good for you. They bring you down." And they'll try to come and use their faith. "Oh, I can't believe you're a Christian and you doing this or doing that. You won't do this and do that." They'll try to use it against you. So you got to be careful. So again, I'm not bashing family, but I do want you to be aware that family can bring you down just as quick as a stranger off the street can, and they will do it because they know you better, and they have the more opportunities because you tend to let your guard down around them. You tend to not be as discerned with dealing with them than with dealing with a stranger. So you really have to be careful for that because they will get you. So then he says, they said, "Because the Lord your God put it in my path," Jacob replied. And then in verse 21 said, "Then Isaac said to Jacob, 'Come over here. I want to touch you to make sure you're really Esau.'" So we see that's the one thing about Isaac. He wasn't dumb. He wasn't eating the food, but at the same time, Jacob and his mom, they had it all planned out. They knew that the dad wasn't dumb, but they had it all planned out, and they still going to be able to get over on him. So then in verse 22, it says, "So Jacob went over to his father, and Isaac touched him. He said, 'The voice is Jacob's, but his hands are Esau's,' Isaac said to himself. But he did not recognize Jacob because Jacob's hands felt hairy, just like Esau's. So Isaac pronounced his blessing on Jacob." So number 13 is this. Again, if you would allow them to do it, family will steal your blessings. The blessing that is meant for you, the blessing that you're meant to have, the blessing that God got stored up for you, if you allow them to do it, you keep allowing your family to run over you, you keep allowing your family to mess you over, you keep allowing your family to take you in the wrong direction, they will steal the blessings that God has for you away from you. So you have to be careful with that. Again, that's why I say I'm not bashing family, but this is a warning. You got to watch your family. You got to watch your family. You got to watch your family just as much as you watch your enemies, because they'll be the one to get you. Look at Julius Caesar. Out that famous line, "Et tu, Brute." He looked when his friend Brutus stabbed in the back. Why? Because Brutus was like family. He was the one closest to it. He couldn't believe that Brutus had betrayed him. And the same thing will happen to your family. So if you allow your family to do it, they will steal your blessings. They will. So you have to be careful. And that's what happened here. What you say? Hold up, Isaac was supposed to offer Isaac, right? Not Isaac and Jacob. No, I don't know what you would state you, but yeah, I was talking about when Abraham took Isaac up on the mountain. That's what I was talking about. And they saw the ram. He was getting ready to kill. He was getting ready to offer Isaac, and then he saw the ram in the bush. That's what I was saying. I was talking about that, and then when he saw the ram in the bush, of course they gave God. They just said Abraham said, the Lord. He told him the Lord would provide, and then he said after he saw the ram in the bush, he said call him Jehovah Jireh, which is the Lord. The Lord will provide. That's what I was talking about actually. So I'm not sure. We might got confused. What we got confused on that yet. But I wasn't saying that Isaac was gonna take Jacob out. I was talking about when Abraham was gonna take Isaac out. So. But again, so he told him that he pronounced his blessing on him, and his brother basically went and stole his blessing. So then he asked him again to show his dad wasn't just completely, his heart went all the way in it, but everything was looking like he was really talking to his son Esau. So he said, are you really my son Esau? He asked, and he said, yes, of course. Jacob replied. Then Isaac said, now, my son, bring me the meat. I will eat it, and then I will give you my blessing. So Jacob took the food over to his father, and Isaac ate it, and he also drank the wine that Jacob served him. Then Isaac said, come here and kiss me, my son. So once again, Isaac was still, he was old and blind, but he wasn't no fool. He was still wasn't just set on it like, no, he knew something was amiss. He knew it wasn't right, but again, the mama and Jacob, they just had a plan to where they got over on him. You know what I'm saying? Again, why? Because they was family. They knew what his dad would do. They knew the things that expect. They knew what his dad, everything that his dad was going to look for. They knew what the dad, what kind of things to put on the food of dad, because again, it was family. They knew him. So they knew how they can fool him because they was family. That's why I say family will get you, man, because they know you the most. So then verse 27 says, so Jacob went over and kissed him. And when Isaac caught the smell of his clothes, he was finally convinced, and he blessed his son. He said, the smell of my son is the good smell of the open fields that the Lord has blessed. And how did he get that smell? Because he had on Esau's clothes. He had taken Esau's clothes. You see what I'm saying? And how many of y'all got sisters and brothers and you wore each other clothes and things of that nature? Oh, no, I know my girl, they get into it all the time. Like Gabby go to school and she got on some of Giselle's or vice versa, and they get back like, why you wearing my shirt? And blah, 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 blah. It happens all the time with family. But this time it was more sinister. He did it to fool his dad because he knew that Esau's clothes, again, Esau was a man of the field. And he ever, I know my kids do it all the time. They go outside and play, and then you come in, you be like, oh my goodness, you smell like outside. See, Esau had that outside smell. Well, Jacob, he didn't have that smell to him because he was always in the house. So once again, he did it to fool his dad because he knew what his dad was looking for. And of course the mom helped him do it, but still he did it because they was family. They knew each other, and they knew how to fool each other, and knew how to deceive each other. And Jacob deceived his brother, and now he's deceiving his dad. And again, this is family. So family will do that to you. So you have to watch your family just as close as you watch your enemy. So verse 28 said, now may God always give you plenty of dew for healthy crops and good harvest of grain and wine. May many nations become your servants, and may you be the master of your brothers. May all of your mother's sons bow low before you, and all who curse you are cursed, and all who bless you are blessed. So what did he do? He just stole his blessing. That was the blessing that was supposed to go to the older son. That was the blessing supposed to go to the one that this great nation was going to come out of, the one that was going to take over this land of Canaan, the one that the promise that was made, all that was going to come through this older son, and Jacob just stole it from him. And he was able to do it because he was family and he was trusted. You see what I'm saying? And that's what family do. So like I said, this just happened to be the story that came up, so I'm not bashing family, but it is important. I think it's just as important to help you so you realize that you have to watch family just as close as you watch your enemies. So in verse 30 it says, now as soon as Isaac had blessed Jacob, and almost before Jacob had left his father, Esau returned from his hunting trip. Esau prepared his father's favorite meat dish and brought it to him. Then he said, I'm back, father, and I have the wild game. Sit up and eat it so you can give me your blessing. But Isaac asked him, who are you? Why, it's me, of course, he replied. It's Esau, your older son. And Isaac began to tremble uncontrollably and said, then who was it that just served me wild game? I have already eaten it and blessed him with an irrevocable blessing before you came. So he knew what had happened. Once he realized, it was that thing. How many times we said, man, I knew something told me that wasn't right. And that was the thing. When Esau said that, he knew, I knew that wasn't Esau I was talking to, but it was too late. And then he said, I just gave him this big blessing, and I blessed him with everything. It's too late now. All the blessings are gone. So then in verse 34 it says, now when Esau understood, he let out a loud and bitter cry. Oh, Father, bless me too, he begged. So number 14 is this. This is number 14. I forgot to turn the page. Number 14 is this. Sometimes family can be the main source of sorrow in your life. And that happens. Again, I told y'all all the stuff I've been through with my family, all the things I had to face because of my family. You know, a lot of the, like I said, a lot of the bad I went through, a lot of the ugly I saw, it was all because of my family. And that happens. And that's why I'm saying, that's why I said that blood is not always thicker than water. That's why I had the title of this lesson. That is the title of the lesson. It's not always thicker than water. Sometimes the very ones you love, sometimes the very ones that should be motivating you and push you forward can be the very ones that bring in the sorrow and the pain in your life. And that's what happened here with Esau. His own brother messed him over, deceived him, and became sneaky and stole his blessings, stole the blessings that were meant for him. This great nation that he was about to become, that the nation of Israel was going to become, was supposed to go through Esau, but yet his brother stole it. So number 14 is sometimes family can be the main source of sorrow in your life. You have to understand that. You know, so that's why I told you at the beginning, make sure when you decide who's going to be in your life, make sure you're deciding who's going to be in your world, whether it's family or just a stranger. Make sure that you're using, talking to the Lord and ask the Lord to give you discernment to show you the right people. Because just because they're family, just because they're family, just because it's got the same blood, don't mean they won't mess you over. So then he says in verse 35, he said, but Isaac said, your brother was here, and he tricked me, and he has carried away your blessing. So just like I was saying in number 13, if you allow your family to do it, your family will take away your blessings. If you allow your family to do it, they will steal your blessing, and that's exactly what happened here. So verse 36, Esau said bitterly, no wonder his name is Jacob, for he has deceived me twice, first taking my birthright, and now stealing my blessing. Oh, haven't you saved even one blessing from me? So number 15 is this. Family turmoil can cause bitterness in your heart, and you have to let that go. You know, you have to let that go. If you're holding grudges against your family for things that was done in the past, you got to let that go, because it's going to make you bitter. It said Esau cried out bitterly. You know, bitterness, my pastor said this statement, I hope I don't mess it up. He said, bitterness is the only poison that kills its own vessel. You know, when you got that bitterness in your heart, and you got that anger in your heart because somebody messed you over all these years ago, and you still bitter and you upset about it, that hurts you more than hurt that person. A lot of times that person has moved on, they ain't even thinking about it, but yet you still around here harboring all this hate in your heart because this person messed you over. You got to let that go. You know what I'm saying? Family would do that. Like I said, y'all told me, I'm not blasting my family. I'm not getting on them. This is what happened, but I still love them all. You know what I'm saying? Even the ones that did all those things to me that I was talking about, even the ones that I had to witness, I still love them to this day. And you know what I'm saying? If they call me and they need something and I got it, I will give it to them. You got to let that go. You got to forgive them. You got to forgive them. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't want to hold that in, because it's going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt them. And that's what happened with Esau. And we're going to see it's going to happen to Esau, and it's going to put him down. It's going to take him, lead him down a path that he don't supposed to be going down. Matter of fact, that's going to be my next point, because he said bitterly, no one his name is Jacob, for he has deceived me twice, first taking my birthright and now stealing my blessing. Oh, haven't you saved one blessing from me? And Isaac says to Esau, I have made Jacob your master, and have declared that all his brothers will be his servants. I have granted him an abundance of grain and wine. What is there left to give? He took everything from him. His own brother took everything that he was supposed to have. Y'all give me a second. Everything that he was supposed to have, everything that was rightly his. Because Esau said, Isaac told him, he said, I will pronounce this blessing that belongs to you. Everything that was rightly his, that he earned by being the oldest, that he earned by the work that he did, that he earned by gaining his father's favor, everything that he had was stolen from him by his own brother. He took everything from him, and that was family. So that's what I'm saying. Don't get so caught up on family. I'm not saying family won't be good. Matter of fact, I got my last point is a good one, because I know kind of bash your family today. But I'm just saying, don't get caught up on the fact that you guys share blood, and let that give them the ability and the permission, so to speak, and ability to keep messing you over just because you got the same blood flowing through your vein. If family is not lifting you up, if family is not making a sacrifice to help you get to where you need to be, if they're not motivating you to go forward, then they're not truly family. If they're holding you down, they're stealing from you, they're deceiving you, then they're not truly family. Because true family will not do that. True family will be there when you need them. And right here we see that even though these were brothers, even though they shared the womb together, they wasn't truly family because they weren't really fighting for each other like they were supposed to. And that's why I say, man, there's people in this world that I have to this day that are brothers to me. They're like brothers to me. There's two people in this world that I had that have been like brothers to me that are not have no, didn't even met them like when I was later in life, but they've done more for me than my family ever have. And that's what you see. And we see here, well, these guys were blood brothers. They shared a womb together, but look what they're doing to each other. Look how they messing each other over because they're family. And that's why I say the title, blood is not always thicker than water. So then he says, in verse 34, it says, Esau pleaded, not one blessing left for me. Oh, Father, bless me too. Then Esau broke down and wept. So once again, and go back to number 14, sometimes a family can be the main source of sorrow in your life. And that's what it was. His family called him. He's crying out, and he's upset right now. Why? Because his family screwed him over. So in verse 39, it says, his father Isaac said to him, you will live off the land and what it is, and you will live by your sword. You will serve your brother for a time, but then you will shake loose from him and be free. So he told him, like, yeah, I've already gave out the blessing. You're gonna serve your brother, but eventually you will shake free and be shake loose and be free. And of course, we know, the history of the Israelites that eventually happened. The Jacob, his kids, they go in, they conquer the land and all that. A lot of the tribe that they ran out and some of the tribes that they made slaves were actually descendants of Esau. So that all happened, but again, they eventually break free eventually. So we go to verse 41. It says, now Esau hated Jacob because he had stolen his blessing, and he had said to himself, my father will soon be dead and gone, then I will kill Jacob. So number 16, I want to say you got to be careful with family, because family can lead you down the path of destruction. You know what I'm saying? His own head, this man was down murder. Because what did Jesus say? If you even think in your heart of doing something, then you've already committed it. So this man went from being a good guy. Seemed like Esau seemed like he'd be a good guy. I haven't seen anything bad about Esau to show that he was a bad guy. But now he's about to be a murderer because of something that his family did. See, there you go back to that bitterness and that hatred that I was talking about. You got to let that stuff go, because it'll send you down a path that you don't want to go down on. It'll send you down a path that it ain't no returning from. And he was going to go down the path. He was actually going to kill his own brother because of what his brother did. You know what I'm saying? Again, this is family. This is family. They supposed to be loving each other. They supposed to be supporting each other. They supposed to be there for each other. Helping this promise come to fruition that the Lord gave. But yet they sitting there, they hating each other, and now they're about to kill each other. And only because his mama stepped in is the reason why it didn't happen. Because in verse 42 it says, but someone got wind of what Esau was planning and reported it to Rebekah. So she sent for Jacob and told him, Esau is threatening to kill you. This is what you should do. Flee to your uncle Laban in Haran. Stay there with him until your brother's fury is spent. When he forgets what you have done, I will send for you. Why should I lose both of you in one day? So again, you see right here where number 17 is this. Sometimes family will be the main ones that force you from your home. They'll be the main one. That's why I left Memphis. You know what I'm saying? I left Memphis because my family. I knew if I stayed down there, that it was going to end well for me. And you know what I'm saying? Because the way my family was, the things that they done, the things that they was into, I knew that if I stayed in Memphis, they were going to pull me down with them, so to speak. Because someone was doing some things that ought not to be done. As the Bible say, and that's why I left. And I didn't go far. Now I was initially gonna go to Minnesota, and my grandma even told you, look, I know you got to get out of here. I know, God is calling you somewhere else. And she said, the only thing I ask is that you stay a little closer, so if something happened to me, you can get home. If you go all the way to Minnesota, it's not gonna be easy to get home, and I'll just like to have you closer. And that's why I ended up going to Nashville. But I knew I couldn't stay in Memphis because of my family, the things that my mom was doing. Matter of fact, my second year of college, not gonna go to the side trail, but I almost died at the end of my first year of college because some stuff my mama got involved in, and the guys were looking for my mama, and they came and they saw me, and I got jumped by like 7 or 8 guys. You got one guy was getting ready to hit me across the head with a brick, and another guy that was in the crowd kind of pulled his hand back right as he was getting ready to go hit me across the head with a brick. The only thing that saved my life. I could have died because of something my family was doing. So you gotta understand, sometimes family be the main ones that force you to leave from your home. You know, so you got to be careful with family. Family, like I said, I'm not bashing family. I want you to be aware that, you know, don't put so much stock in family to where you feel your family can do no wrong. Blood is thicker than water. Family can do no wrong, so no matter what they do, you're gonna let them slide with it. No, that's not always the case. Sometimes family can be the worst, can be your worst enemy. Sometimes family is the ones that can hurt you the most, and that's why I want you to understand. And like I said, in my case, that's why I left Memphis, because of the things that my family was involved in, things that my family was doing is the reason why I left Memphis. Because I know if I would have stayed there, I would have got caught up in it too. And I definitely wouldn't be talking to y'all right now. I'd either be dead or in jail. So you got to understand, that's why you got to watch family. And that's what happened here. Because of this situation with him and his brother was trying to kill him, he had to leave his home. So his own family was what ran him away from home. And that happens. Sometimes family be the main one that force you from your home. You know what I'm saying? How many kids that have left their home to get out of abusive relationship with their parents? You know, how many kids have ran away because of the home thing that was going on in the home? You know, family would be the main ones that push you away from your home. Though I'm saying, I'm not bashing family, but don't put so much stock in family the way you think they can't do wrong. Make sure that you're praying with everybody that you deal with, family or not, that you're praying to the Lord to ask Him to give you the discernment you need to make sure you're making the right decisions about the people that you have in your life, because it's vital. It's vital as a Christian. It's vital as a human being, period, but it's definitely vital as a Christian to surround yourself with the right people, and that's family included. So in verse 46 it said, "Now then Rebekah said to Isaac, I'm sick and tired of these local Hittite women. I'd rather die than see Jacob marry one of them." So Isaac called for Jacob, blessed him, and said, "Do not marry any of these Canaanite women. Instead, go at once to Pandan Aram, to the house of your grandfather Bethuel, and marry one of your uncle Laban's daughters. May God Almighty bless you and give you many children, and may your descendants become a great assembly of nations. May God pass on to you and your descendants the blessings He promised to Abraham." So you see, those blessings that God promised to make them that great nation, it went to Jacob because Jacob stole it from his brother, stole it from his family. And now he got the blessings that his brother was supposed to have. His own brother did him wrong. So he says, "May you own this land where you now are foreigners, for God gave it to Abraham." So once again, we see where the family didn't have his best interest at heart. So in verse 5 it said, "Now so Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Pandan Aram to stay with his uncle Laban, his mother's brothers, the son of Bethuel the Aramean." So number 18 is the last point. This is the last point, and I wanted to be a good one because like I said, I know I feel like I've been bashing families, and it's hard because I got my family and I love my family here, and a lot of people have good families. But like I said, all family ain't good. So number 18 is this. And this is why I say this is real family here. And number 18 is what I'm talking about. A good family, real family will be there when you need them the most. And we see that here. It said Jacob sent Isaac away. Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Pandan Aram to stay with his uncle Laban. So he was on a run. His brother was trying to kill him, and his uncle took him in and gave him a place to stay. That's real family right there. You know what I'm saying? That's real family right there. He really did make the sacrifice and gave him somewhere. He was there for him when he was in need. That's what real family does. Real family has your back. Real family, you're going to be there when you need them, and they're going to motivate you and push you forward and try to get you to where you need to be the best you. That's what real family does, and that's what Laban did here. So like I said, I wanted to end it on a positive note. Real family, a good family will be there for you when you need them the most. Always. That's what good family. So whatever, but again, it don't have to be blood, and that's what I want y'all to see. It just because their blood don't make them family, but the ones that's there for you when you need them, the ones that's gonna be there for you when you're down and out, the ones that have seen you down and out and they've reached down to pick you up, that's real family there. So it ain't always people that's blood related to you, but there are people in your world that's gonna be family, that's gonna be closer to you than a true family will be. So just to finish out the story, finish out chapter 28, this part of the story at least, it says, so in verse 6 it says, "So Esau heard that his father had blessed Jacob and sent him to Pandan Aram to find a wife, and that he had warned Jacob not to marry a Canaanite woman. He also knew that Jacob had obeyed his parents and gone to Pandan Aram. It was now very clear to Esau that his father despised the local Canaanite women. So he visited his uncle Ishmael's family and married one of Ishmael's daughters in addition to the wives he already had. And his new wife's name was Mahalath, and she was sister of Nebaioth, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son. So once again, we see toward the end where you got family came through for each other. So he went to his Ishmael's house. Went to Ishmael's house, which was Isaac's brothers. He went to him, his uncle Ishmael, and found him a wife among family. So the end of the story was a lot better as far as family perspective. But I know for the majority, I feel like I was bashing family. And again, I'm not just bashing family. I'm just saying make sure that you have the right kind of family. Again, family is somebody that's going to be there for you. Family's going to help you out of your time of need. Family's not going to pull you down. Family's not going to put you in danger. Family's not going to tear you down your mental state, your spiritual state, or whatever. They're not going to do anything to put you in harm's way. Real family is going to be there when you need them. So make sure the people that you're calling family is really a family, and you need the Lord, the discretion and from the Lord to be able to make that decision. So that's why I say in the very first one, make sure that when you're calling people your family and when you have people in your world, that you're using the wisdom that the Lord gave you, and you're praying the Lord to give you wisdom and discernment to make sure that you're choosing the right people, because it's so vital to being a Christian is having the right people around you and definitely having the right family around you. So that's it, y'all. Like I said, that was just a little I went through and I was doing these lessons. Like I said, I'm going back through Genesis and going over the little small, what I call minor stories, but it's still a good message in them all. And matter of fact, this is part one. And now today we see where Jacob messed over Esau, and again the family. Now we're gonna see what happened to Jacob. I don't believe in karma. That's a Hindu concept, but the Bible does say you reap what you sow. So we're gonna see how Jacob messed over his family, his brother, and we're gonna see what happened to Jacob when he go down to Padan Aram, and he's gonna end up getting messed over. What I'm saying, because of what he did to his brother. So what goes around comes around. Whatever you want to call it. But like I said, you reap what you sow. So if you put out, I do believe, if you put out bad things, if you're out there doing wrong, doing people wrong gonna follow you. But if you're out there doing right, you make a sacrifice to help others, doing everything you can to put others ahead. I believe when you need those same blessings in your time of need, the Lord will provide that for you, because what you do, like I said, you reap what you sow. So again, thank y'all for joining me tonight. I'm glad I was able to make it through it. Like I said, my heart is heavy with my friend passing away. But I just thank y'all for being here, and I love you all. And like I said, as long as the Lord got breath in my lungs, I'll be doing this. And y'all being here really encourages me. And I just pray that y'all was able to get a good lesson. Y'all this touched your heart and were able to open your eyes up to some things. And it may be some things that you've dealt with before, dealing with family, and you just never knew were you right in doing what you did. And hopefully this was able to help you out as far as discerning who should be in your life, and who you should really consider family, and who really you probably should consider your enemies. So again, thank y'all. I'll be back next, actually Thursday. I'll be doing the Bible study. Actually, you already saw it, whatnot. But I will be doing the Bible study Thursday. It'll be the Book of John, chapter 20. We're getting toward the end of the Book of John, so we're getting ready to go in a new direction. We got 2 more chapters. I'll be doing chapter 20 this Thursday at 6 o'clock, God willing. And then, of course, Monday I will be back, and I'm going to do Blood is Not Thicker Than Water, Part 2. So now, like I said, we saw how it began. We saw what Jacob did to Jacob did to Esau, and now we're going to see what his uncle Laban do to him. And once again, it's going to be family messing each other up. So it was a 2-part series, and I do Part 2 next Monday at 6 o'clock. So if there's anything in particular you guys would like for me to talk about, or in the story I haven't covered yet, that you want me to go over, or just some topic that you want me to go over, please reach out to me, inbox me, and I'll work that into my lesson plan. Be sure to keep sharing the videos and telling everybody about it. Tag them. If there's anybody that you know that's going through these things that I'm teaching or talking about, and you think they can be helped by these videos, please tag them or share it with them. I don't do no privacy thing. I want everybody to see this. I really want this ministry to grow. So y'all just continue to do that. And it has grown tremendously since I've started. And I appreciate everybody and all your efforts and helping assist me with that. And of course, if there's anybody out there that's watching this video that's not 100% sure that if they was to die, they was to go to heaven, please, please, please reach out to me. There's so many people I talked to. I was talking to a young lady this weekend that's not sure about her salvation, and she just wasn't ready to feel she wasn't ready to hear it. And man, just with the way my brother passed away yesterday, it just goes to show even more. And I told this young lady that, but I like, you just don't know. You don't know how much time you have. So if you're watching this video, you're not 100% sure about salvation, or you know somebody that's not, please reach out to me. Send me their info, or send them my info, or just make some way that we connect us so I can talk to them and they can hear this gospel and they can accept Jesus Christ before it's too late, because we don't know. And once you go through that door called death, it's just way too late. And as always, I have been slacking out. When I ain't slacking, I've just been really busy. But I got about 3 videos I need to get download on YouTube. But the majority of the other ones are already there. So if y'all need to catch up on any of my old videos, or these videos will be on there eventually, this is my YouTube page. You can always go there and check them out. Type it in, go to the the YouTube search bar. Type it in just like this with a space between each one, like I got it, and it will take you to my channel, and all my videos will be on there. So once again, thank y'all for bearing with me tonight. I really pray that this helped y'all. I pray the Spirit touched your heart, and you was able to get a good lesson and learn something from this lesson tonight. And I'll try to do it again next Monday at 6. And, of course, this Thursday I'll be doing a Bible study from the Lost Sheep Ministry that I did last week. And hopefully y'all will be able to join me. And I appreciate y'all for being here. So I'm going to go ahead and pray, and then I'm going to get out of here. Dear Lord and Heavenly Father, we come here tonight as your humble service. Once again, thanking you for all your many wonderful blessings. Thank you for this wonderful lesson, Lord. And I know it's not the most positive lesson when I was going through it. Like, it's not, I really try to do positive lessons and things, but it's a lesson nevertheless. It happens. It's rampant. I dealt with it a lot as a kid myself and with my family. And sometimes we just we got to put it out there. The Spirit gave it to me, and it was obviously somebody need to hear it. So that's why I put it out there for all to see, Lord. Because sometimes we don't pay. We get so focused on our enemies and strangers that we don't realize sometimes the ones that's gonna do us the worst are the ones that's closest to us, Lord. So I just pray that everyone would have a good family that will support them, or have people in their world that they can really consider family. Because like I said, most of the people I consider my family, we're not blood related at all. But I definitely consider them as brothers and sisters, because they've proven to me through their actions and the things they've done that they should be that. So I just thank you so much for watching over us tonight. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share this word. Thank you for letting your Spirit work through me. And once again, I pray your Spirit worked on the hearts of those that's watching this video, and pray they'll be touched by this lesson as well. And Lord, I just come to you with a humble heart, Lord, and a heavy heart. And I pray that you be with the family of my friend Donell, again, a brother to me, who's one of those that I just happen to be doing this lesson tonight, but he's one of those that became a brother to me over the years, since I met him my sophomore year in college. And just to hear that he's gone and he has kids that he's leaving behind, young kids too, Lord, that love them to death, and he loved them. And it's going to be rough. It's one of those that's going to be hard, because he was so young. This was so unexpected, Lord. But I pray you keep your healing hands upon his family, upon his kids. I pray they're not bitter because their dad was taken away at such a young age for them, Lord. And I just pray that you just help them, get them the strength they need to endure what they're going to have to go through these next few weeks. Because, again, he was a big guy with a big heart, Lord, and he would just really touch the lives of a lot of people. And I know this is going to be rough, and it's going to be a sad occasion. But the one good thing is I know he was saved, Lord, and he's there in your arms right now, and that's the blessing. So I just ask you to be with his family and all his friends, and just help us all. Because right now we're sad because our own self desires we'd like for him to be here. But in reality, Lord, he's the lucky one. He's there with you now, and we should be happy for him. And I just pray, just be with his family, help them see that, and get them some consolation and comfort in this painful loss, Lord. I just ask you just continue to be with this ministry, continue to help it grow and prosper, reach out to the community, touch the lives of others, continue to use me and my family to do a wonderful work in your name, and just help us be an influence, positive influence in the life of others, and help others continue to build a relationship with you. I pray for all those that are lost. So many I've talked to knocking on doors, Lord, that's lost and know they're lost, and just figure they'll do it at some other time. Help them to see that we're not guaranteed anything. We don't know when you're going to come, our number's going to come up. And I just pray you will touch all their hearts and humble their hearts and get an opportunity to accept you before it's too late. I pray you just continue to watch over us tonight. Let your word continue to sink into our hearts. Be with me and my family as we finish out this day. Keep us safe and protected as we rest up for the night, and get us ready for another day of honoring and glorifying your name and serving your purpose and your will. Be with all my friends and family, Lord. Just keep your hands upon them all, and just continue to watch over them all. All those in my ministry, continue to help them grow in your word. All those that through this ministry we've led to you, I pray they continue to grow in your word as well, and continue to guide their steps and their hearts and minds in the direction they need to go, so they can do the work you have for them to do. I just pray you be with them, Lord. Be with all those that's been misused and abused. It's so prevalent in this country as well. And some of it, like I said earlier, most of it is done by family, Lord. So I just pray you be with those people. Anyone that's going through that, I know how rough it can be because I deal with it myself. And I just pray you just keep your hand upon them and heal them and be with them so they don't have hatred in their heart towards you because of what they're going through. And I pray for a way, you make a way for them to get out of this situation and give them the wisdom to accept their way when it presents itself. And I just pray that you just take this evil desire out of the hearts of the men and women that do this thing so they may not harm another fellow brother and sister the way they are. And just keep your hand upon those in the military, keep them safe as well. Continue to watch over them, protect them while they're away, and just let them see no matter how far away from home they are, they're never too far away from your protection. Be with this country. Help us see how far away from you we've gotten, and give us the wisdom to turn our hearts back to you. Be with your nation of Israel, keep them safe and protected, and turn their hearts back to you as well. And just be with our president and all of our leaders as they go forth, Lord. Turn their hearts to you so they may lead the people in the right direction and make the right laws so we continue to have the freedom to honor and glorify your holy name. Once again, thank you for the night. Thank you for this message. And thank you for using me to bring this message. And I pray that you just touch the hearts of those that hear it. And the seed may be planted so they may have the discernment and wisdom they need to make sure they have the right people in their lives. And the people that they call family truly are family. We love you and thank you for all you've done and given. And we say this prayer in your wonderful Son, Jesus' name. Amen. All right, y'all. My favorite too. I thank y'all for being here. Like I said, it's a blessing. I hope I was able to help you. I ain't gonna say my heart went in. My heart is always in the Word. I just pray that my heart is heavy, and I pray that I was able to be a blessing to y'all tonight through this message. But I love you all. Like I said, y'all are my family. I thank y'all for being here, and I just pray y'all continue to be safe. And y'all just continue to watch yourself and just continue to love, man. We just don't know when the Lord gonna come calling us. So y'all be safe until I see y'all again. Hopefully y'all will make it through Thursday night for the Bible study. And if not, next Monday at 6 for the part 2 of this. And we're going to see what happens to Jacob when he gets down there to live with his uncle and see what family will do for you once again. So I love you all. Y'all continue to watch your back and pray and be safe. And until we meet again, peace.